I'm still trying to fiddle with some of the audio. Looks like I might be a little too loud. I should be okay. Hardest thing to do is remember to not yell like I used to at the old place, because I don't think I need to anymore. All right, that's amazing. I got all this stuff kind of working. And pop out chat. This is the best part of the stream, where you just look at a graphic and you're some guy trying to fumble with the internet with the, what is this stuff called? Interface stuff, that's it. Alrighty, and hello and welcome to the Odin Makes live stream. After a month, I'm back. Hey, how's it going? Felicia's not here today. I never had a chance to talk to her and confirm that I was going to be able to be streaming because I moved, so I had no idea if I was going to be able to stream or not. We talked about trying to do it last week. That didn't happen at all. And then I never quite connected with her this week. So she's got the day off, which is good for her. She needs it anyway. So it's just me, and I'm in my new space. Over the past month, I have been, and with a lot of help from Shop Gremlin and some other fine people. Oh man, who all helped? We've got, so it's myself and Shop Gremlin and Forrest and Chelsea, a good friend of Forrest's. And we had Hire for Hire and Adaptable Gamers, and they all came out and helped move the shop. In addition to that, we had Jerry Rig Props and Jared Falcon. They also came out and helped move us out of our apartment into a new area. And yeah, even the parental unit of Shop Gremlin showed up at one point. Oh, and Treg the Viking. Yes. So a huge crew of people showed up to help us move stuff around from time to time. Most appreciated. It took a solid month. It took a solid month to... It was waking up on a Thursday in a home that's set up to be a normal home. Nothing's really pre-packed. There's like some very minimal pre-packing. I have a hard time pre-packing when I don't know. I've moved too damn many times as a kid. So I have a hard time pre-packing when I know that I could very quickly and very suddenly have to unpack to do something else. Probably should double check that I have audio. Awesome shout out. Cool dudes. Yes, great. Okay. I can hear you. Oh, good. Thank you, Steve. Steve D. Thank you. It's really hard for me to pre-pack for moving because of how many times in the past you pre-pack and you pre-pack and then you unpack because you're pre-packed, and then it's even worse. Or at least it feels that way. There's a mental thing about doing stuff more than once, especially when I was younger. So we woke up Thursday and the house was normal, and then Friday we're trying to get everything out, right? That was, yeah, like, yeah. Normal moving probably for most people, but having a 40-hour, having a full-time job, having a new full-time job where I don't know how much I can get away with, by sneaking off, as opposed to the job I just had where I knew I could get away with murder by sneaking off. So it took a very, very long time. The final load went out last Friday night, and that was the load that brought out some of the stuff behind me here, which is the pipes that were the overhead lighting grid in the old setup. Those black things are 2x4s with just foot-long velvet curtains hanging on them. I had those hung up in the big space I was in as a way of interrupting the sound and killing off a lot of the echoes. Once they came down, I can remember why I put them up. So I've got all that stuff here. Dan came by as well. Oh, hey, there's another shout out to somebody who helped me. Boy, I'm forgetting people because I'm tired as I'll get out. So Dan Does Junk also came by and helped do a lot of moving. And he also came by and helped wire up the house, which I appreciate. Something went wrong with one of the runs in the walls, and okay. So this morning finally circumvented that, and oh hey, it's working fine now. So that's my whole story of the past month. Thanks for watching the stream. I'll see you guys. No, what's going on? Here we are. There's Marvel Guy. Yes. So hello, Marvel Guy. Basically, I am super excited to have the first weekend in a month where I'm not driving back and forth and not trying to pack boxes and not trying to move stuff. And of course, it's also the first weekend in a month where it isn't 100 degrees. The weekend before we moved, the weather in Sacramento was like 76. It was fantastic. The weekend we started moving, it was 96. Every weekend after that, it was 100 and something. This weekend, it's 79. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, weather. That helped. That helped so much. So the big thing is, of course, I'm sitting here in this space, and I've got a couple of cameras that I can talk to in this lovely garage door behind me, but I've got no projects. What do I want to say? The Proton Packs are right over there somewhere. I can almost see them, especially with my glasses on. But one of the things that we did start doing was picking up some Halloween decorations, because we have a place, and there's a place where decorations can happen. And so putting together, Halloween decorations, moved into the house just in time to decorate for Halloween. What we're looking at doing is taking some Spirit Halloween skeletons and trying to turn them into Draugr from Skyrim. So picked up some plastic Halloween skeletons, want to glue some batting to them and paint them down with some creature cast. Want to use that instead of latex, so they'll last a couple years longer. And just try to make some, Skyrim skeletons to have out on the front porch, because why not? So probably unbox one of those in a little bit. I don't know how far I'm going to get on anything, because I was up till 3 trying to make this stuff work last night after getting started at about 3 in the afternoon. That's what it feels like anyway. And I got up early to, again, try to hunt things down. What have we got? Congrats on the move. Thank you, Marvel Guy. Hi, Dan. Oh, Dan is here. Good. Hello. Hello, Dan. Sorry for the slow shout out there, Dan. That was not intentional. Lots of cool dudes. Lego time then, says Schultz. Oh yeah, I'm okay with that. Do I have Legos? I probably do. Oh man, that'd be nice actually. Boy, building a Lego set would be great. I'm not sure if I've got a set ready to go, but that'd be great. Dan's asking which data location had issues. The garage, whatever the cable run, either, which this is the part I haven't isolated yet, it was either the tail that went from the modem into the wall, or from the run in the wall running into the garage. One of those two was having severely truncated connection speeds, right? Basically, when you're looking at Ethernet cables, right, you get the little green light in the side saying everything's happy. I was getting an orange light, and when I was running a speed test, it was topping out at like 50 or 60, which should be good enough, but it wasn't. And I couldn't see the switcher on the network, and I just couldn't. So ran out this morning and bought some more Ethernet ends and made a home run that goes just from here to the modem. Actually hooked it up to the little Wi-Fi switch I got, which isn't giving me the speeds I thought it would, which is kind of weird too. So it's working. That's what you're watching on now. So yay. But I found out that I have to, since the switcher, this is weird IP stuff that I didn't really think about. If I've got someone out there is smarter than me. I've got a router, and I've got that router hooked up to my modem. So the router becomes its own separate network. I kind of thought it would be part of the same network. It makes sense that the Wi-Fi off of that would be a different network. But I have to be connected to the Wi-Fi of the secondary router in order to see the switcher that's hardlined into that router. That the hardline network path doesn't go into the rest of the house. I expected to be able to see the switcher from my main computer, just because I could for once, and it wasn't. Don't know why. Dan Does Junk is going down some of the same holes as the Romex. Oh, gotcha. I see. So you're also thinking there could be a. You're saying going down the same holes as the Romex, which isn't ideal. You can reduce by drilling holes just for the data cables and redrop them. That'd be pretty cool. For those of you who don't know, Romex and power does have a electrical field around it, and there for a while there was a plan to try and run Ethernet or networking cables through the electrical field around your Romex cables in houses. And there were places where it worked. But since so many houses in America are not built the same, that was not going to work large scale. And they were getting decent speeds, for speeds 15 years ago. So at this point, the speeds aren't so good anymore. So that project was dropped, as far as I know. I'm not aware of that anymore. I know DirecTV was trying to do that as well as a way of carrying their video signal through the power lines of the house, but not through the copper, just running it through the electrical field that's generated around the power lines in the house. If you want to build Lego, just do it. We don't mind. Yeah, that's nice. And yeah, the main thing I was also seeing, Dan, when we were pulling the cables up into the wall, you bring out of the box, it does all the loops because it's coming off of a spool. One of those loops somewhere down the hall got caught on something and kinked up to a point that it actually stressed the blue plastic wrap, the blue, housing, the blue, whatever it's called, insulator around the outside of the cable. And if it was kinked hard enough to make that stress white and deform it, then there's a small possibility one of the wires got cracked, which would really screw us, right? But it did work otherwise, which meant everything else was hooked up correctly. And then maybe the little tiny stinger that goes from the modem to the wall, maybe that one's bad, and the one on the wall is just fine. I haven't isolated them to see which one it is. Schultz is asking, wasn't it coax back then, or is that the same as Romex? I'm not familiar with. You are correct. So for video, it was coax cable. That's the coax cable is the it's like 3/8 of an inch thick, or about 6-7 millimeter. And it had the little screw-on connector on the end of it, so it was a cable with a little tiny stinger of a bare copper wire in the center, and that would go into the back of your TV. That was composite video, is another term that was used for that type of connector. Inside of that cable, there was that solid core, and then you had your dielectric. That's the white stuff, not the Oreos, but in the center of the coax cable. And that's where a lot of the signal was ran. It was bounced around inside of that dielectric, which is weird. And then outside of it was a shielding layer. So it was a wrap of strands, like woven around the outside of it. And that was also connected to the outside of the part that you screwed on, right? So that was all part of the shielding. It was also just part of the return system. So that was a coax cable. Why is it called coax? That I don't remember. Romex, which has almost the same name, is usually okay. No, I don't think it is always. Romex to me is a 3-stranded copper wire, which is ground, neutral, and hot. But I think you can also get it ungrounded, where it's just neutral and hot. So, and the neutral and the hot lines are insulated with white and black. Ground is just bare, usually in Romex, or it has paper on it. And then that's inside of an additional sheathing installation of random colors. I don't understand what the colors mean, but I've seen yellow and I've seen white, and I've seen, it probably has something to do with grades of Romex. In residential houses in America, Romex is acceptable to run through your wooden walls. You don't have to put it inside of conduit. So Romex all by itself is fine. So the Romex is copper. It's a 3-strand copper without dielectric. And coax is 1-stranded copper with dielectric, and they're very different in sizes. The gauges of wire. Romex is 3 times the gauge size or so of video. It's a much thicker solid strand of wire. It'll be less hot in my attic now. Yeah. Thank you, Dan, for running out during the 100-degree weather to run around in my attic and help run wire. Old school techs. We use coax a lot. Yeah. Coaxial. Yep, it's coaxial cable. That's why it's called coax. Everyone just wants to drop the last little bit. I'd have to Google Romex. Not sure if I've seen that before. Yeah, you know, I've got 2 or 3 strands of it rolling. It's kind of a flat-looking cable here in the States, and it's got 3 10 gauge or 12 gauge copper inside of it. You know, 2 of them are insulated. It's how the 110 electricity in the United States is ran. And I have no idea how that is done in other countries, what their regulations are, or what their requirements are. Because I know we're 110 and there's a lot of places that are, you know, 220 or 230, which Romex could still do, I think. But yeah, this is all outside of my knowledge. Thank you, Marvel Guy. Thank you. Appreciate the compliments about doing electrical. Yeah, I've done electrical runs on a couple of things with, you know, a lot of video stuff, and done a lot of running electrical for other projects. Yeah, no, thank you, Marvel Guy. That's appreciated. So what are we doing? Romex. Do I see Romex? Okay, so the new space, I'm going to talk feet, so my apologies to all of you who are in the civilized world and want to use meters. The old shop space I was in was 29 feet, you know, by 19 feet, right? So 29 feet long by 19 feet wide. And it had ceilings that were on a severe rake that was like 12 feet or 14 feet on one side, up to almost 20 feet on the other side. So it was a huge cubic volume space, but the floor space was about 600 square feet. So it's, you know, basically 20 by 30, right? I would have to pull up something to help me convert that to meters, because I'm really not sure. The new space I'm in is a garage. However, lucked out, and it's a 3-car garage. Most garages in America are 1 or 2, you know, so the idea is you can put 1 or 2 vehicles into it. So the door that's behind me over here rolls up and you can drive a couple cars in. So this one has this door, which is a double car garage door, and there's a little tiny piece of wall, and then there's another single car door just that way, which means in here, instead of it being 29 feet by 19 feet, it is 26 feet by 22 feet. So it's 3 feet shorter one way, but 2 feet wider the long way. It ends up being like 610 square feet or something. It's still going to be math that I was reading documents, and I'm just trusting what they said. 615. I don't know why I seem to doubt that accuracy. So technically, there's more floor space in here. But since there's no storage on the walls yet, I haven't gone through to actually put shelves up or anything, because that's the plan. Since I haven't done that, boy, it just feels like it's packed full of crap, and I can't do anything in here. One of the big things doing last night was taking out cartloads of boxes to the covered patio in the back. So I've got stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks of boxes, because I hoard stuff, out on the back patio. That needs to be gone through, needs to be pared down, needs to be sorted and put away. Some of the stuff is stuff I've had packed for 20 years. You open it up and go, oh my gosh, how old is this? Just because I keep shuffling things around and moving around and never getting a chance to actually go through it. So yeah, I've got that ahead of me. It's one of those things in the back of your head is like, okay, brain, if you go through 1 box a week, or maybe even 2 boxes a week, if you do 2 boxes a week, you can go through 100 boxes in a year, and that'll clear out most of it. Can you do that, brain, please? Math is a lot easier than actually doing your tasks. Oh, Dan just did Romex this morning, adding another garage light. Yeah, so that's going to be fun. I need to do some of that. I'm renting the house that I'm in. I'm actually in a house. I'm in a house. I'm renting the house that I'm in, but I do have inadequate electrical in the garage. And boy, I'd love to just run some Romex. Oh man, that would be nice. but it's a rental and it's at my house. So I really can't. It's sad. Talk to the owner. The owner is a group of people that own it. It belongs, reading the name of who the owner is, it belongs to a family trust. So yeah, there's no particular person to talk to ask permission. It's like, hey, I want to make a YouTube channel out of your garage. Mind if I run some more power? I'm just going to be running extension cords for a while I'm here, I think. Did I get cramped and squished from the old two shops in the past? Yes. Yes, I did. When I was at Zot's, it was a two-car garage, or the equivalent of a two-car garage. I think that space was like 17 by 18. And that was about how big the shop space was that Zot had. And I was sharing that with Zot, so it wasn't all my space. He didn't do much. He didn't claim much, so it wasn't that big of a deal. And I had carte blanche to go in there and do whatever. So I was running Romex, and I was putting in insulation, and I put up drywall and all sorts of stuff. And Zot just didn't care. He thought it was great. Stuff was happening. At the media center, that got cramped because everything just kept coming to it. I got divorced, and a lot of the stuff that I had in the house had to come to the media center. And then other things just kept showing up. And so it got cramped. You know, it was a lot of fun to talk about it being like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, because it kind of was. This is a little bit better. I can see a lot more of the walls here for now. But no, it got cramped. And so this, right now, having moved a bunch of stuff out into the back patio, this is about as cramped as the media center was. Because I've got a space here that I can be in. I've got my camera, and I've got my camera, and eventually I'll have a camera over here. I'll get it set up again. I just wasn't going to do it today. I've still got a path. I've got a path to that door. I've got a path to the single car garage door. I've got a path to the outside door. You know, I've got space. That's the best part. Oh, it is so promising to have a space that is where I'm living instead of half an hour to 45-minute commute. And I'm looking forward to that a lot. I'm very excited about that. And I've got a ton of stuff I need to do reviews for. As I'm moving things over here, and I can see some of them here now, I realize right there's a Creatality laser. One of the newer ones they sent me that has a full housing, and it's a big 400 by 400, meaning 400 millimeter by 400 millimeter bed that it can cut on. And it has a complete bread box housing over it, a complete shroud, if you will. So, you know, it's a safe tool to have around pets and other children and bystanders because it's contained. I need to unbox that. I haven't even unboxed it yet. To my left over here, I've got my X-Tool P2, which I'm posting on Discord all the time. And I've done projects with it because I had this set up at the apartment, which was tough with all the fumes coming from it, all the smoke coming from it. It's also an enclosed CO2 laser. I need to do a review on that thing, and I really like it a lot. So there's my first endorsement on the P2, on the X-Tool P2 CO2 laser that can, you know, cut half-inch clear acrylic without much of a problem at all. It is pricey. It's Glowforge price point. It's a $5,000 laser, so I need to do a bit of a review on that. My only real gripe with that one, let's bitch. I was super excited. It came with an air filtration system, so it has something about the size of an old school PC tower. That was the air filter. My clock is like 15 minutes slow. My clock is anyway. So it's about the size of an old PC tower, right? So there's this air filter that's about so big. And I hooked it up, and I was cutting wood for a project, and I clogged up the air filter in a week. First week, right off the bat. Now, I'm running the air filter because I'm in an apartment, right? And it's just exhausting back into the space that I'm working in. Yeah. So you go and look to see how much are replacement filters. The entire filter pack, which you can only buy the entire filter pack, you can't get just the top layer that clogged, was like $135. It's like, okay, that's not sustainable. I'm not making that kind of money. I'm not running a business. I mean, I am, but I'm not running that kind of business where I can, easily write off $600 a month on air filters. So got real creative on how to run that. And now that I'm in a garage, I've got it set up right over the. There's little vents in the garage in America for car fumes and venting. So there's 3 vents, 3 bays. Right here, or it has to do with amount of square inches for venting, whatever. So I'm just going to have the exhaust from the laser go right to one of those vents. And then I've got a portable air conditioner in here as well that is on kind of permanent loan from my friend with the Rosa Morton audio studio over at the Sacramento Media Center. And that one is also going to have its vent out to one of those so I can blow the hot air out the back end of the portable air conditioner and blow the cool air in here. But hopefully I don't need to worry too much about that for a couple of months. Other things, I have yet another laser that I gotta unpack because I got to be a super fan of the laser death machine. Thank you, Mariah. And so they just keep coming, which is great. So a whole third one that's different from the other 2. So I've got a totally enclosed diode 400 by 400 laser from Creatality. I've got a fully enclosed CO2 300 by 600 laser from Xtool, and over there I have an open diode laser with an 800 by 800 cutting area from Atom Stack. So all those need to be unboxed, looked at, put together, make a video, talk about how I love them, because chances are I'm going to enjoy all of them unless they really, really, really suck. And I can't imagine they will. And they all have massive benefits because they're all slightly different. CO2 versus 2 diode, enclosed versus open frame, and the open frame is huge. And then Atom Stack and Creatality both sent additional things of like rotational things to engrave tumblers, or Atom Stack sent there's a honeycomb thing that you can get for lasers, which looks, it's a honeycomb you lay down, and it's a way of holding small parts so as you're lasering, things don't move and pop up and catch the laser and cause problems, right? It's a piece to support what you're cutting. They have a new one that you actually assemble. So it's not it's a grid piece and it fits together, which I'm interested in, but it came in a box that's not much bigger than, a giant box of spaghetti. So it's not very big, that's not 800 by 800. Don't care. The thing's cool. I like the idea behind it. So I have all that. But then wait, there's more. Other things we actually had a chance to play with and posted pictures to Discord. So all of you in the future who are listening to this, if you haven't joined the Odin Makes Discord, if you want to see other pictures, there's a huge community there. There's a very active community, which is pretty cool. Very cool, guys. Actually, I'm really appreciative of all that. Of the amount of interaction everyone has without my input. It's very cool. I enjoy looking at it too. But on the Discord, I've been sharing, done a lot of resin printing with the Elegoo Mars 5 Ultra, which is a 900 pixel, 9K. That's what I'm looking for. Brain. It's a 9K resin printer. So yeah, it's huge. And they also send a wash and cure machine. So there for a while, we were doing a lot of water-based resin printing with this 9,000, 9K, 999, 9 times, Mrs. Bueller, a 9K screen, which is the highest resolution screen I've got, and printed up spines for the Lothcat, and printed up a whole bunch of 1/6 scale skeleton parts for my friend Professor Mojave. And that thing was cool. Once I used Lychee Slicer, it was reliable and it printed and it did a great job. It was interesting that the Elegoo branded water wash resin was reacting with the paint they painted their vat with that holds the resin in the Elegoo product. So the resin was creeping underneath the paint, causing it to kind of bubble and warp, and there were flecks of paint floating around in the resin in the vat. It's like, that's not good. And I tried to tell them, I said, hey, I'm seeing this reaction between your own products. I'm not even using a third-party product. And the basic reply was, is it Hoarding printing? We can send you a new vat. It's like, I was trying to give you feedback on a potential problem that I'm not the only one that's going to have this problem. Anyway, the printer, however, is great, and I love the prints it does, and Professor Mojave is super happy with the prints that it does. And then the other things that we've got that we've also been working with are 2 Bamboo Labs 3D printers. 2! So they sent a Mini and the A1, I think it was. It was not the carbon, not the really, really big one. It was the 2 smaller ones that they have, which are still excellent printers. And they both came with an AMS unit, an automatic material selector, I think is what that's called. Shop grandma will correct me if I said it wrong. But meaning that it will print 4 different colors at the same time. And it's using a single head. So as it wants to select to a new color, they all kind of have to be the same material. So you're printing all PLA or you're printing all PETG. I don't think you can do anything hotter than that. But what happens is you have the single print head, which is like a hot glue gun, and you got the hot glue that's getting pushed into the hot glue gun and it's printing, and then you want to change the color of your hot glue, so it actually withdraws the hot glue far enough that it's totally out of the head, pushes in the new color of hot glue from the different spool, has a thing off to the side where it then purges itself and clears out the nozzle of the mixed wrong color, then comes over to a wipe tower, so it makes like a big square Lego tower to the side where it's just wiping off all the sides of the heads to make sure there wasn't any curly Q extra crap. And then it goes back over and continues printing with this new color. Yeah, there's a Instagram channel that's been a lot of fun to watch this past year called Print Them All. Print Them All. And the guy is systematically going through and printing all 151 of the original Pokemon. He is 3D sculpting his original pieces. He's printing them out on, I'm pretty sure he's using bamboo units with AMS selectors. And he's got the better models that have up to 4 of those selectors together, so you can have up to like 16 colors. So he'll print, 10 colors on a single Pokemon. So when they come off the print bed, they're finished, they're colored, the eyes are outlined in black. It's really cool, and it's the guy's fun. I like his little videos. So Print Them All. There's my recommendation for somebody I don't know using a machine that I'm using, so I get to see how well that works. So the Bamboo Lab printers are great. We also got an Elegoo printer a long time ago that never got a review. And it may not. That one wasn't so great. So the Elegoo resin printer, thumbs up. The Elegoo FDM printer that we got, not as excited. There could be the conditions that we were trying to print in, but it was one of those, it was like a lot of the other FDM printers I tried to use in the shop where it would print okay, and then it would slowly fail more and more and more. And as the fail percentage increased, the interest in doing anything other than tossing it off the roof, decreased. So, we were trying to talk to a third-party group that makes new hot ends, new glue heads, other new things about making parts for this other printer in order to improve it, which apparently is a very common thing. So at least it's not too out of the box to need to upgrade and hot rod your printer in order for it to dial it in and really get it working well. Polymaker Figures. He's using Bamboo Labs X1C and Prusa XL5T. Oh, he's also got a Prusa. Of course he does. Oh yeah, thank you, Shop Gremlin. Oh, one other thing we got from Creatality was the Scan Otter. And then we also got stuff from you got some cameras too, but they're not this type of camera. It's monitoring camera for lasers. The Otter, the Sea Otter. No, it's just called an Otter. Scan Otter. It is a handheld 3D scanner. On the Discord, I posted doing some scans of Bumble Scorpion, and we did some scans of a Bowser figurine that I've got, and then we took it to Professor Mojave's and scanned one of his model skulls that he's got. One of the classic old school. It was an Aurora model. It became a Ravel model or a monogram, and it went through all the different hands. So we were scanning that skull. And it was funny talking to Professor Mojave because he is such a skull nut. He has always enjoyed skeletons. He has always enjoyed bones. For years, I thought Luke threw a rock at the button that closed the gate that crushed the Rancor's head. And Steve goes, no, it was a skull. And I went, what? No, it's a rock. And he goes, no, it's a skull. And I'm sure a lot of other people noticed it was a skull too, but I didn't. And we go back and still frame it. And yeah, sure enough, it's a skull. You can see the face of the skull blurred just before it hits the button that makes the gate come down on the Rancor's head. But this Revell kit, this old monogram Revell Aurora kit that I was scanning for Professor Mojave, he was letting me know there are certain things with this particular skull kit. For one thing, it's actually really good. It is really anatomically good for what it is and for when it was made, which is like the 50s or 60s. And it was made as a museum style model kit. But it has weird pass-through holes in kind of the underside of the cheeks or something, because the idea was you could take the inner ear out of this museum piece. So it has these holes that a real skull doesn't have, which makes it easy to spot in movies. Like specifically when the Predator was cleaning off Billy's skull in the first movie, he's picking it up and spraying it down and cleaning off, and he tilts it and you can see the cutouts of the model's skull. Again, I never noticed, but yeah, but Professor Mojave's like, no, it's that skull. It's like, oh, that's really cool. Odin Museum incoming. Are your plans? So Steve D is asking if my plans are to build the garage up as my new workshop and studio. Yes, thankfully I have the entirety of the garage to use as my space. There's a couple of things still that are going to be out here. I'm going to always try to maintain a pathway to the single car garage door because that is an access point. And I always needed some open floor space at the media center to work in. So as long as I have most of the first car, single car garage side more or less open, I can replicate that and it'll be a more usable space. But behind me, this 2-car garage door, I'm gonna build up a set nearly identical to the one I had at the media center, which is different from the one I had at Zot's garage. But I'm probably going to flip-flop it because I have the laser right there. I don't want to build the set I had at the media center exactly the same way, where right next to it is going to be a belt sander and a 12-inch disc sander. So I'll probably do a mirror image of it, where on this wall over here, I'll have my pegboard set up with all the stuff hanging on it, and just kind of the open work desk area that just became a giant crap collector. So I'll put my big crap collecting here. And then over here against the garage door, which I'll unplug the garage door opener. That's right here. I can almost touch it. I'm looking at the screen, sorry. That's right here. I can almost touch it. I'll be unplugging the garage door and build up the other part of the set right up behind it. I'm going to try and do it so it has to be removable and it has to not hurt the building, right? Because we are subject to being inspected by the landlord at any time, which is cool. So I want to make sure that my set is a set and it isn't permanent to the building. So it's going to be right up to the door, but not touching it. I want to insulate the door, just take some styrofoam. I've got a little bit over here, but I can cut panels of styrofoam and set it inside of the lip of the garage door in order to insulate it so it isn't just the aluminum tin can to the outside. That'll cut down on the sound a little bit. But this door will not open. Once the set's built, this door won't open, partly because above me, the garage is open. And it's kind of split. That section over there, like it's not very far from where the camera's sitting. So the first 8 feet of the garage is all drywalled in, and it's all part of the attic of the house. And then this section over here is just open roof. I can look up and I can see the underside of the plywood of the roof, which I'm going to need to run insulation inside of to help cut down on radiant heat. I've come out here with a laser thermometer, and yeah, it's 70, 80 something on the floor. It's a little high for room temperature, but it's okay. And you go up to the roof and it's 115, 120. It's like, yeah, nope, need to insulate that because that's just radiant heat. So with this side being open, going back to why the garage door isn't going to be opening up, I want to have the set with pieces of 2x4 that go up and clamp to the joists that are up here, just so it doesn't wobble, right? Just to keep it set. I mean, it's going to be a workbench. I'm going to build a workbench with a flat behind it that looks like a wall. That basically is, but it isn't. It's a temporary wall. And so off of that, I want to have a couple of pieces of 2x4 that go up that connect to the joists to keep it all stable. And those pieces of 2x4 will be in the way of the door opening. So the door won't open. Oh well, I don't plan on parking a car in here anymore anyway. And what's really sad, the whole plan is to keep the door from opening, right? I'm okay with, for the length of time that I'm going to be here, that this door doesn't open. Last week, the spring for the 2-car garage door broke, which means it couldn't open. Now, partly for me, that's okay. Who cares? I don't want to open it up anyway. But we just moved in. The spring just broke because of wear and tear or whatever. They do that, right? The springs, they just break. It's a counterbalance spring to help the door open it up. We had to have a guy come out and fix it, and he came out and fixed it on Friday. Now, that's paid for by the landlord or the leasing company. But it's just funny that we had to have a tech come out and fix that spring for a door that I don't plan on opening. Sorry, guys. But hey, it's a new spring for the next people. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, Dan Does Junk says, no more train. That's right. So the garage that I'm in is considerably far away from everything. One of the places I was looking at that was promising on price and size of building, this is again to rent. I'm still stuck renting for a while until my ex gets out of the house that's actually supposed to be mine. But because I've got a building that's mine, but it's in my stepmother's name, right? The idea was for my dad to will it to me. It's complicated as it can get, but I agreed that I'm going to let them stay there for a period of 3 years in lieu of having 18 years or more of alimony payments. So yeah, I'm okay with that. And what's funny is they then got a better job and probably would have owed me alimony, but whatever. So they've got, they're living in that house, so I'm stuck renting for a couple more years at least, which is fine. Hopefully this time won't be moving again. We'll stay right here until I can get back into that building, at which point I can kit out the garage exactly the way I want it to. But no more train. The point being, that was a total sidetrack, sorry. Was looking at other houses. One of them was right at the end of the Sacramento Metro Airport flight line. So you've got a house and a couple of streets and the end of the runway. And this isn't the international airport. This isn't the big one where the big jets fly out of. This is the one where all the prop planes come out of. This is where like little private jets and Cessna aircraft and helicopters take off out of. This is the airport that all the news copters and all those, they all fly out of this airport, right? The sheriff don't, and the medical might. They might be parked there until they fly to a hospital, then go back to this airport. I don't know, but and I think Cal Fire has some of their helicopters there, but that's all prop noise that would have been worse than train flying over the house. It wasn't going to stop me. Found this place instead. So far away from the freeway, far away from any train line, far away from a flight line. In fact, it's very quiet compared to where I was, which was right off of a freeway, which was right off of a junction to a different freeway, bottled in by a train that was, just a few hundred yards away. And then we were far enough away from the flight line from the ex-Air Force Base that you really didn't hear it, but you could walk outside and you could see the planes taking off from McClellan Air Force Base or McClellan Airfield all the time. And then you could also see, Southwest and Delta taking off from the Metro Airport. Again, far enough away you didn't really hear them. It wasn't a big deal, but it was all there. None of that's here. It's very nice. Very happy. No more train, more dog cam. Yeah, pretty much. Yes, and a huge, huge benefit that Dan is happy to point out is I am now 20 minutes from Dan. So yeah, the amount of time it used to take me, come here, Bean. The amount of time it used to take me to get to the freeway before I could get to the shop. That's how far away I am from Dan, which is, I'm actually very excited about. The idea that I am that much closer to another builder that I'm gonna be able to collaborate with, whether it's on videos or not, or just to screw around with, just to have a friend I can hang out with. I'm very excited about that. And just a little bit further away than that is Adaptable Gamers and Zombie Prevention League. I've said their names earlier. It was Mariah and Aaron, but anyway, not too far from them. So all these people I get to hang out with. I'm about the same distance from Felicia. So the distance Felicia had to drive to get to the old studio, this place is about the same, maybe a little bit closer. So that's good, right? So it's not impacting her participation. Thank you so much, Felicia. I know you're not watching, but thank you so much, Felicia, for all the effort and time that you've spent and put into doing these live streams for the past few years. You know, without a complaint, showing up consistently, even when we were doing it weekly. So thank you so much. And I'm excited. There was a big concern that wherever we moved, it couldn't be so far that Felicia couldn't make it anymore. Because she talked about having things that were kind of outside of her comfort of driving, which I can appreciate. So that became a determining factor on where we went to stay here. There is a dog in here. There he is. Come here, Bean. Dog cam. Is it noon? Oh, it's well past noon. You guys are probably trying to tell me that. More build videos coming and with Dan, awesome. That's all I heard from that sentence. Yeah, basically that's what you heard from that sentence. All right, let me go ahead and edit and let me go to visibility public. So I've been ranting and talking, which is really all I planned on doing. I'm gonna be doing more of this in just a little bit. And save. Public. Let me bring the chat back. Lick, 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 lick. Thank you, Bean. Lick. Yes. You're a very, very good boy, Bean. Let's see. Can I move this slightly so I can see who my concurrent viewers are? No. Maybe. Nope, you just... There we are. I got 2 likes. I got a like because there's a dog. That's awesome. Yay, dog cam. Wow, 18. That just jumped up. A lot of people just jumped in. Original Momo. Hello, Odin. Hello, Original Momo. Hi. I just made the stream public for the past 45 minutes or a little bit more. I've had a private stream running just for my Patreon members. I try to do that every single live stream. For those of you who are watching in the future and are not watching live, for one, thank you guys so much. I appreciate that you guys rewatch my streams. But for those of you who are just now joining live, if you go check out patreon.com/Odin Makes and jump in at the Discord level, you'll be able to get early access to all these live streams. Usually Felicia's here with me as well. In the future, we hope to get going on video games again. I was just talking about how I moved to a new building, so I'm actually closer to Dan Does Junk and the Zombie Prevention League. And so we've talked about maybe trying to live stream board games with them, just because why not? It'll be fun. So anyway, if you want to see any of that stuff, then please check out patreon.com/Odin Makes, and the Discord level will get you in. What I've been talking about, a quick recap for those of you who just joined. I'm in a new space. Hey, look behind me. It looks different, right? I still got a dog. Still got Bean. But over the past month, why I haven't had a stream in over a month is because moving out of the media center and moved out of the place I was living, it consolidated all that into a new place. So I'm now streaming from the garage of the place where I'm living, which is fantastic. Now I'm still only renting it, so I'm not going to be able to like seriously modify what's behind me, but I do plan on making a set. I do plan on making this look like, hey Bean, you can lick my microphone? I do plan on making this look like the set that I had at the media center. It's going to be a little different because it's a different building, but you know, and that's going to happen over the next couple of weeks because finances are a big part of that. So, because I need to buy lumber and things. I've got some, but I need to buy lumber and things to really do this out just so I can make videos. And I was telling my patrons, one of the things that's happened over this past summer that was amazing was Atom Stack, Creatality, Xtool, Bamboo, Elegoo. They all sent me things to review, laser cutters and 3D printers and 3D scanners. So I've got a bunch of videos, just review product videos that I need to do that they've been incredibly patient over. And I can start doing those, I guess, with this background, but there's part of me that's like, no, you need to get your set back. So I'm kind of somewhere between the two of those. But anyway, hello everyone. I am flying solo. I did not communicate with Felicia that I was going to be streaming today because until 10 minutes before I hit go, I didn't know for sure I was going to have the internet to be able to do it. We got the internet hooked up to the building. We didn't have internet hooked up into the studio area. So finally found the bad cable there, routed around it. And so I'm able to stream. Hey! And more dog cam. See, we got, oh good, this is great. I'm gonna have lots of interactions here. Careful, Bean. Bean doesn't see terribly well, so I hope he doesn't, you know, I don't think he'll walk off the counter. He's super careful about that kind of stuff. So what have we got going on? Oh, I got hearts for Bean. Okay. The Adventures of Alex Stoner. Hey Odin, how you doing? Pretty good. I'm pretty excited about having a new space. I'm even trying to set up different cameras a little bit for right now. I'll go back to my old camera setup, but for right now, this is what I've got. The original Momo. Hello Odin again. Hello Brownie. Hello there. Bean stepped on the mouse. Everybody got highlighted. Do you guys feel like you're highlighted? Jonathan Parada. My dog name. The dog is named Bean. So his name is Bean, just like a chocolate bean or a coffee bean, because that's the coloration that he has. And yeah, so he is Bean. And he's got a little bit of cataracts. He's had cataracts almost his entire life. He can see, but he doesn't see very well. Vinny Lusky, let's go! We are so back. Yep. Exactly. Chargo's boom. So this is why you haven't uploaded in a good long while. Yes, I've got all sorts of crazy nap time drama going on in the background for why I haven't uploaded in a while. I'm finally, after a couple of years of struggling, trying to get a better space to be able to be creative in. A space that I can go to where I don't immediately have regret that I showed up. I'm finally in that space. I just need to clean it a little bit and start getting things put together so I have access to my tools and I have access to the way that I'm used to working, which will make it better for me to be able to do it. All the stuff is here. I've got everything here. So I just need to put it together. I need to make it work. And so, yeah, I want more videos coming. I've got more than a handful of review videos that I've got to get done for different companies that have sent me some really cool products. And a couple of them I haven't even bothered to open up yet, intentionally. So need to do that. I could do that during the stream. I don't want to. I'd rather give... These people sent me some really cool laser cutting machines and 3D print machines. The 3D print machines are open, and Chop Grumman's been running with those. But the laser cutters, I want to be able to give them the attention they deserve because I'm pretty excited about all of them. Oh, I got to click something down here. There we go. No, stop. There it is. Pop-ups, go away. What is it? Yeah, Walker Innovation says, this stream popping up just reminded me how long it's been since I've been in a stream. It's been 35 days since I've had a stream. So I can appreciate that. You know, Felicia and I went to every other week to try and not go crazy. And then ended up missing a week and then having to push it a week. Missed a week intentionally because of moving. And then pretty much same thing. Could have potentially maybe have streamed last week. Wasn't set up and still too much to do with moving. So, yeah, in a new space. That reminds me of something I wanted to do. Let me pull up. Let me put photos. Sorry, you get to watch Odin. Here, we'll bring dog cam back. You get to watch Odin play with the computer. That's got to be the most exciting ever, right? So we'll just do this. And allow. I've got a pop-up I don't want. So I'm going through some of the photos I've taken of the now empty shop, and then I'm going to go back to 2017 when I moved into the shop, and I'll try and share all those pictures for the fun of it, including the, there we go. Thank you, Bean, for sitting on my mouse hand. Okay, that's fine with that. And then, oh, I should talk about that too. There's an in-progress shot. I'm going to forget. Remind me to talk about what I did in Oakland this last week, because I went down to go visit one of the offices in Oakland. One of my day job offices. March, July, November 2017. And, there's that. There we are. I've only got a couple of these, but that's fine. Okay. Now, I need to open up the controls with the media, and I can start dumping photos in here. Let's see, so we're going to kill that one and kill that one, kill that one. One of the things that just walked out here. Sorry, dude, gotta make sure you're on camera. You're a good boy, Bean. He is such a chill guy. I really, really, really like Bean. He is a fantastic dude. He's going to be 13 in a little bit. Okay. So I've downloaded a bunch of pictures that I've taken of moving out. I've shared some of these on Discord. There we go. So let me load up the still file. So I slowly lose where I'm at. Boy, this has got to be a riveting television. Let's watch Odin fumble through. You guys are so incredibly patient. All right. So, you know, watching Odin stumble and fumble through. Burping on microphone. Using a computer. Wow, can't talk and click with a mouse at the same time, apparently. That's not surprising. Okay, so there's that, and then there's that. Okay. Okay. What's a good boy? Look at him, he's even facing the camera. What a good boy. Okay. What have I got? I want to do that. I can't just double click. That's right. Still, there it is. So, November of 2017, I moved into the media center. This is the shop. This was, you know, just before the cameras went in. Oh, wow. If you look up at the top of the screen, there is a light pointed down at the desk. It's got a giant, I want to point it out with a mouse, but you won't be able to see that. It's the big black kind of box looking thing. It's a big yoke hanging onto this light. That is literally hanging over my head right now. It's just not plugged in. I forgot that I was using that light on the old set. That's awesome. But I got that. That is a fluorescent light. That's an old 2 foot, 4 bulb Kino light. Brand names, whatever. Anyway, I've got this same desk. I measured out what those workbench lengths were, and those workbenches ended up being exactly 9.5 feet by 9.5 feet, which is really kind of funny. So I've got that plotted out in the space that I'm in now to be able to kind of closely replicate my set, that I had. This again is a picture from 2017. It never stayed this clean for that long. What's funny is looking at it is how some of the stuff never moved. Tape always stayed in that corner of the pegboard. The rulers, in fact, the carpenter square, almost everything there next to the yellow toolbox, all of that stayed in that corner for the entire 7 years that I was in this space. I never moved those around. I don't usually do that a whole lot. But that was November of 2017. This was, the first few days that I'm starting to move in and figure out where stuff is going to go. And if you go back to looking at the big one, this is before it got choked up with a bunch of crap. This is when it was, hey, this is awesome. I got this big space with all this potential, and I haven't filled it up with crap yet. In fact, I can look, if you look between the big bandsaw and the hanging rulers to the right of the screen, and then there's the little belt sander on the work desk, also kind of to the middle right of the screen. In between the two of them, there's a bunch of white mud on the wall. Mud is or joint compound is a drywall term. It's how you hide seams in drywall. So I haven't even finished painting the set yet. It's still mudded up. And this is a couple of years before I built the Soul Edge or Puppy, which lives on that wall. And don't worry, Puppy's going to be back on the new set here. I've still got Puppy. So that's anyway, that's 2017. Then this is about a week ago, maybe a little bit more. This is me just after I got the set desk removed from the studio space. So most of the light grid is down. Here is a fantastic Where's Waldo thing to look at. Even here, looking at it, yeah, it looks like the door's too open. The drill press, which would have been right behind the door with the green broom handle there to the left, that's been moved out already. The bandsaw's been moved out already. My set table's been moved out already. So all of that, that's how much just crap was collecting behind us. And a lot of this was still just there in the live streams. I was so depressed and done with this space, I wasn't putting any effort into cleaning it up behind me anymore. And so this is what we had. But is Advexen watching? Feel free to screen grab this. I think I shared this on Discord anyway. And you guys can just Where's Waldo the heck out of this. But yeah, there's stuff. And then if you look on the pegboard, I've still got tape hanging in the left corner. I've still got that's a smaller carpentry square, but I've still got all the rulers hanging in the right corner. None of that stuff moved. I still have the other rulers hanging next to Brooke's crown underneath the Batman mask off to the right. Now, all that stuff never moved. It never changed. I used it, but I kept putting it back. And that joint compound smear would have been straight down behind Brooke's crown, I think, right underneath the portal gun. Man, all this stuff is here, pretty much. Moving out of the media center. I filled up the dumpster 3.5 times. I got rid of 3.5 dumpsters worth of stuff that I didn't bring into this shop, which is ideal, right? That's what we want to do. We want to make sure that we pare down on the crap. Still lots of stuff here, but you need to go through stuff still, need to pare down more, need to just throw away. Learning to craft, learning to build stuff, wanting to do Halloween props, you're always up against the I don't have any money. You're always up against the no budget, lots of ambition, lots of talent, no budget, no materials. So hoard materials. I can't throw away this piece of wire. This is a good piece of wire. I've got boxes of that crap now. Fast forward a couple of decades, I've got boxes of that crap now. So yeah, I need to realize that my situation is different. The amount of stuff that I'm building and being really wild and crazy about has gone down a little bit. And as I'm building stuff for other people, at this point, those other people typically pay me so I can buy good material. And I don't have to have this hoarded stuff that I don't even look at anymore because it's easier just to go buy new, which is just even worse. Now, I'm not trying to tell anyone out there not to do that, because if you're in a position where that's the only way you have to get materials is to hold on to stuff that this could be good, this is inspiring, but I don't have a project for it. No, keep that stuff. Don't, just because I'm at a point in my life where I'm going to start removing some of that, don't think you have to. That's a decision that you need to make at your time with what you're doing. And there's lots of stuff that I've built using that type of material. So I'm not advocating that everyone needs to do this. I'm just at a point where I need to do this. Hope that makes sense. Hope I'm not, doing too much, being too much of an internet dad. Oh wow, what's this? Shadowlands Radio for $5? Hello, Odin. I'm working on a huge staff via wood carving for the first time. Oh, that is awesome. I'll give you that. Cool. Congratulations, Shadowlands. That's fun. I've only done one wood staff. I did Saruman's staff out of wood. That's the only one, and that's not here. That's in a different room. But that's really cool. Everything else I've done has been foam or plastic. Frankie Hen says, no way, 2017 was 7 years ago. And Frankie Hen is also trying to remind me, the only thing you're missing is your lathe. That's coming up. They've been watching Getting Comfortable. They're watching Getting Comfortable in his little bed. That's awesome. Oh, Andreas, Hera, thank you. I'm scrolling up and seeing this. I got a $5 super chat from Andreas. Hey, Odin, I've been working on my facehugger for Halloween, and your video inspired me to do so instead of buy the toy. Could you ever remaster it? I've been thinking about that. My good friend tried to finish something. Sean Cash actually contacted me the first week into moving, right? It's week 1. I'm not even out of my old place I was living yet. And he's like, hey, Alien Romulus, it's on its way out of the theater, but I would like to make a facehugger. And he had these ideas and what he wanted to do with it, and wanted to know if I wanted to participate. It's like, hell yes, I do. I would love to redo a facehugger. I would love to remake the one I did before. The one I had last time had cankles. It'd be kind of nice to do a new one that doesn't. And I liked what some of the ideas that Sean had. Try to finish something. YouTube channel called Try to Finish Something. It's an old friend from an old Sacramento DJ too. Anyway, he had an idea that he wanted to do it, and heck yeah, I want to do that. I'd love to do that with him. So yeah, no, I'm interested. I've got so many little things. It's like, oh, I can do this. I can make an old guar prop. I can make and I can, because I'm in a space where I can do that. I was so burnt out and personally angry with the space that I used to be in. Everything stopped, and I'm really sorry for that. And I kind of knew that's where I was at, and I was trying to push through it, but it wasn't happening. So I'm really sorry. I need to get the space built, and I need to commit to making more new videos. And I want to make more new videos because I've got the space for it, and I'm in a safe space, and I'm in a supportive space, and I want to be able to do that. I just got to commit the time to do it. Oh, and I'm not going to be able to do weekly videos because I've got a full-time job that I'm not going to get rid of, because I'm a state employee now, which has got a lot of benefits. But I would want to do it in the style of every time I get a video done, I upload. And if I can do 2 in a month or 3 in a month, that's fantastic. My goal is going to be 1 a month. with the hopes of getting 2 a month done. So I'll probably end up hitting somewhere around 20 a year. Of produced videos. That would be fantastic, right? That would be ideal. But we'll see. We'll see how well I can get back into the groove of doing that. I got a bunch of review videos to make, and it's other things I want to make. So Andreas, yeah, I want to do that. Let me scroll up, make sure. MD says, great to see you here again, Odin. Thank you, MD. Well, there's so many things I'm missed out on us. I'm just talking. Oh, Mariah's here. Hello. Let's go. We're back. Okay, so I sort of caught up. I'm not quite going to be able to catch up on everything. Sorry about that. April, Black Region Arts, the most recent one, saying, "Hey, Odin, I was rewatching your videos last night. I like having them on while crafting. Your new space looks like Bill Duran's new space after they left their shop." Yes, I was thinking about that. I moved in my shop right around the same time Bill Duran and Punished Props moved into their shop. And Punished Props were so awesome. They get a really nice little shout out to me with trying to build a project with minimal materials and minimal tools. And it was the same video he also did, Captain America's Wakanda Shields. With this space, I want to build out the set behind me to look like the space I used to have. You know, maybe not quite this space, but I would like to have something, you know, kind of like that again, but a little more lived in. But what I was doing, so yeah, I want to, and it's very similar because I think Bill Duran is in a space that's in a house that he's living, which is what I've got now, which highly recommend. So last Friday was the last day that I was in this shop space. This picture is probably last Monday or last Tuesday. Last Friday, the shop space ended up being a bit more cleaned out. Now, wood lathe. If you look down at the very bottom left corner by the broken cinder block holding the door open, there's the wood lathe tucked back underneath the workbench. It's still there. Actually, I might be dropping that off to Sean Cash and try to finish something, even though he doesn't necessarily want a wood lathe. He had interest in maybe playing with it and trying to figure it out, and working with it. At this point, I don't think the wood lathe is my wheelhouse or where I want to go. So don't think I'll be using that. The other little odd box off to the right is a Frankenstein, what do you want to call that? It's not a rheostat. There's a big lever in the front of it that is literally wrapped with cardboard and duct tape. And what it is a giant fade switch for like a 5K studio light. So this is something that can handle thousands of watts. This can handle, you know, hundreds of watts. It's a huge, it's a way of dimming a light, right? It's the old incandescent stage lights, the big ones where you could actually walk up to it and warm up your hands if you're working at a concert. Those took a ton of power, and they took a really big dimmer switch in order to adjust the light. And that's what that thing is. That is a giant old Frankenstein dimmer switch. I was using it with a wire cutting device, but even then I could barely turn it on. So realistically, I could replace it with just a household dimmer switch for the wire cutter. But that one I left at the shop because there was actually two of them there when I moved in. The better one that actually doesn't look like it's going to kill you, I kept that one. So there's that. Here's a slightly wider shot of the shop with all the ceiling. So yeah, that's the old space. That's the old space you never saw going up above. What's funny is at this point, I even took those shop lights. I mean, you know, John said, yeah, take all the shop lights, take everything. So, okay, when I finally fully left on Friday, those shop lights came down. The fire alarm, not alarm, the smoke detector stayed, but just kind of not directly underneath it, but to the right underneath it, there's something wired to the wall. That's a little tiny Ring camera. That was a security camera that I put up in the shop, you know, just for my own peace of mind. No, I've got that. That's actually hooked up here now. So I can look at my shop when I'm not here because, you know, that's fun, right? But then even when you turn around, the other side was cleaned out. So that, you know, same thing. Yeah, the ladder I took, that's my ladder. But the little box looking thing that's right in the center of the screen at the bottom, that's the hot wire cutter. One of the ones I used to make Stonehenge. And that's still there. That is, I'm going to be taking out to Chris if it hasn't like magically wandered off. Hope it hasn't. But Chris does enough other set things for other people that he could really use a foam cutter. So there's that. And then up at the top of the tall ladder, just to the left of it, you've got the black lights that are up there. Not those, but there's a weird looking like bent piece of wood thing just hanging on the shelf. That's sort of another giant hot wire cutter that can cut giant pieces of styrofoam for sets. So both of those and the not as dangerous, scary, gonna kill you power thing I'm gonna take over to try to finish something. But yeah, that's the shop cleaned out. And then off to the right, you know, again, cleaned out. Yeah, I took the Ryobi drills. I took the bag of cat litter. But yeah, same thing. This is just clearing everything out. Here's a picture of the last load. That's the lovely, ever so slightly scary Beverly Hillbillies load of the last load that I took out Friday night that then sat in my driveway. I didn't even bother to unload this until yesterday. But yeah, that's the final load out of the shop. Now inside of the shop, I'm gonna go back to a picture you already saw. There's that plywood room, right? The unfinished plywood room with one wall piece that's missing that's just got insulation on it. That was what we kept calling the 3D print room. So this shop space was poorly insulated. It was very cold in the winter. It was fairly hot in the summer. It had high humidity because it always leaked. None of those things are good for 3D printing. So there's the silver ductwork that goes down into that room. That was an evacuation fan for the fumes from 3D printing, especially for resin printing. And then the room itself, we insulated and the door shut with the idea of being able to put a heater in there to heat it up and keep it at like 70 degrees, which is way better for 3D printing. Now inside the 3D print room, because when I was building this out, I was still working with Joe Grasso a lot. Joe went in and used Mod Podge and put a lot of his old Gundam instruction booklets on the walls. And he had a box full of this stuff. So the wall is just fully, two of the walls anyway, just two of them, are fully wallpapered with Gundam instructions. And that is something I have a small, like, regret over moving away from. Because, yeah, I can't really pull the drywall down and take it. So, you know, made sure to take a couple of pictures. Joe hasn't really talked to me in a while, but, you know, we very much parted ways a couple years ago. But I still probably send him these pictures just so he has, you know, he has some sort of souvenir of his space that he actually put all the effort into doing. And I always thought it was kind of cool. I always kind of liked this as a wallpaper, you know. Not really a wallpaper guy, but I thought this was really pretty cool. But yeah, went from, whoops, too far, from 2017 to 2024. And that's the history of Odin Makes. Okay. Thanks. I could do a slideshow of pictures. Okay, so something I see in the background, someone else did a super chat. Oh, Shadowlands Radio again? Oh, wow. Thank you. Another $4.99. I have a playlist of the making process so far on my channel. Oh, nice. So Shadowlands is making on a wood staff. He's carving out a wood staff. And he's got a playlist on his channel, which I assume is his YouTube channel. So definitely, you should be able to just click his name, right? Is that going to work and take you to... Yeah, go to my channel. So just click his name and you'll be able to see his channel and see the progress he has on his wooden staff that he's carving. What you doing, Bean? You okay? All right. What are you drinking, Odin? What do you think? Stephen Hall's here. Hey, Odin, how are you? Hi, Stephen. I'm pretty good. I'm excited to be in a new space. I'm excited to have a new space and a new place to give me new possibilities. I'm excited to have a new space that doesn't have a lot of negative history tied up with it. The old space did, which is unfortunate. It made it really hard to be creative in there. So I'm very excited to be in a new space where I get to do new things all over again without any of the history. I mean, I got the stuff, right? Which is good because I'm very much a having stuff kind of guy. But yeah, I'm very excited. And hoarse. My voice is going because I'm doing my old, what I'm used to doing. How come the pop-up won't go away? Talking too loud. Sorry, I'm seeing that I'm pegging out the microphone and I'm talking too loud. So I apologize for that. I'm just used to doing that. Shadowcaster Zero. Hey, Shadowcaster Zero, do you know Shadowlands Radio? You two should get along. Don't worry about videos every other week. Once a month is just fine, or every 2 to 3 months. Quality over quantity. Thank you. If you need to grow your base, there's always re-editing shorts out of older videos. You're right. And I don't know if I'll quite do that, but maybe. I still have all my footage of my older videos. Jerry Can Cosplay, are you still going to upload on Wednesdays? Yes, I'm going to keep Wednesdays as my upload day. So as I get videos finished, I mean, come on, Wednesday is Woden's Day, which is Odin's Day, right? So that's where the name comes from. Heck yeah, I'm going to keep uploading on Wednesdays. And man, carbonated soda, so I'm going to belch. On mic, on camera, because I'm a professional. I still like the 10 o'clock a.m. California time because basically that was always what Me did with DIY Prop Shop. And they jumped around a lot. And both Me and Defy Media, the company that owned Me, their whole business was YouTube channels. So just trying to pay attention to them with when they were posting videos and how they were posting videos is why I do 10 a.m. my time. And I just picked Wednesday because Odin's Day. But at that time, I was putting out videos at the same time DIY Prop Shop was putting out videos. And DIY Prop Shop was on Fridays. So it was a different day. Then they moved, you know, and they ended up putting out videos on Wednesday. So people got a double dose because I wasn't going to move. You know, there's plenty of YouTube for everybody, so whatever. It's not like we're, you know, I was really competing with them. Okay. I want my pop-up to go away. How come I can't scroll? I can't anything. There we are. Oh, because my mouse is probably dying. Playlist of props, right? Shadowlands Radio. Oh, oops. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to misgender you, Shadowlands. I don't know why. Every time I look at it, I see it as Shadowlando. And so that put Lando Calrissian put a gender on it. My apologies, my lady. So Shadowlands Radio, you and the other Shadow guy might get along really well. Maybe not, just similar names. But Bean, stop chewing on your feet. Shadowlands says Bean is a super cute Chihuahua. Yes, he is. He's a great guy. Bert says, how have you been? I've been doing pretty good. Let's say, cut. There we are. I've been doing pretty good, Bert. So Bert. I don't quite know how to say that. Hello, Ralph. Oh, is Ralph here? Oh, Ralph is here. Oi. Raya Wood says the naked shop looks crazy AF. Yes. Yes, it does. I'll keep this up. We got more Bean on this angle. The naked shop does look really, really good. And I'll talk to the camera. I'm not clicked on. It is, yeah. Just got it done. Mariah, this was a mad dash yesterday until 3 a.m. last night, and then up again this morning with a Home Depot run in order to get everything to work at this level. So, yeah. Steve D, as you moved from a space that you said you gave up on, why no redesign your area from a fresh start rather than making your new area the same? No, that's a great question. I don't want to bother. The new space is going to be a flip of what I had. I liked the set. So here's a weird distinction to try and wrap your head around. going to the building because some of the other people associated with the building, as well as my ex relationships that were, with the building, right? Because I was at that building while I was still married, while I was still trying to take care of my ex. All that is tied into the building. The set, I didn't have that with, right? I would be driving to the building on the freeway. I'd be leaving going, oh, this is cool. I can do this. I can do that. I know how I can talk about stuff that's coming up. I have an idea for how I can take a Nerf ball and turn it into a spike ball, stuff like that. And by the time I got to the shop, basically I was yelling at the windshield at what is effectively invisible people or the ghosts of conversations of the past. And I would pull up to unlock the gate in order to go into the shop, and I just wanted to turn around and go home. I had no ambition to do anything. At that point, it's like, I just want to go home and drink. Nothing. It killed everything, just going to the building. So I don't have that feeling tied into the set. And what I'm going to do here that I'm excited about is I'm going to be keeping the X-Tool P2 that's just over here. You can't see it. Out here as part of the set in the garage because it needs a vent for all the fumes and smokes that it makes. But I don't want to build the exact same set I had because this laser would end up being right next to the sander and get covered with all the sanding schmutz. So the laser's where the bandsaws used to be. And so next to it, I think I'm going to have the pegboard and the just the kind of workbench for the rando stuff, for the crap collection. And then over here will be the other wall that'll have Puppy on it. And yeah, I don't care. I'm going to still call that Sword Puppy. My ex-wife is the one that named it Puppy. I think it's a goofy, silly name. And again, I don't have a connection to that name to my ex-wife. I have a connection to that name to the object. And the history where the name came from doesn't really bother me. Just like, yeah, I've got an ex-wife. I have no interest in talking to them at all, right? But I have a lot of history and a lot of things I've done with them in the past that I don't automatically hate because I don't want to talk to them now. I guess I could compartmentalize a little bit, but so I don't mind. I'll keep calling it Puppy. That doesn't bother me. So that'll hang on the wall. And then underneath Puppy, just like before, that's where the sanders will go. That's where some of the other tools will go. And then that bench is only about 10 feet long, so just about the edge of frame or a little further, that bench will stop, and that's where the bandsaws will be, and the drill press, all of which will just be over there. So the space isn't big enough that the mess will just stay over there, but the particles that are being generated, which is going to be the highest concentration, are at least over there instead of next to the laser, which will stay here. So speaking of which, probably should make a cover for the laser. It's an enclosed box already. Dude, if you haven't checked out the X-Tool P2, it is a fantastic machine. It's not a machine everybody can afford. It's like a $5,000 CO2 laser. But yeah, I like it a lot. I probably should make one of those grandma vinyl slip covers that goes over the laser. So when I'm not using it and I'm using the other tools, it's staying as clean as it can, which will probably make it happier. So why not redesign the shop? I kind of am. I'm just doing a mirror image of it. When I left Zot's, I was up against a flat wall, right? Because that made the most sense for Zot's space to be. It's also what I did when I was doing DIY prop shop out of the backs of Smosh. So I kind of just do what I did before, which is okay. That's just me. I emulate movie props when I emulate my previous sets. I was flat against the wall. When I moved into the media center, I realized I could be into the corner and I would have like a deeper set, and played with that. And I like it. So I want to keep the corner. So I don't know. Things are moving on. Whatever. It'd be kind of fun. For those of you who know, you could spot, oh, this video was made at this time. And speaking of which, I have a couple of videos that I've shot at the media center that I forced my way through that have yet to be edited. I've got like 4 or 5 of them, I think. Even the bamboo 3D printer, we did the first kind of powered through doing a talk-through review of that. All that got shot, but it's just sitting. Because, yeah, anyway. It's just sitting. Smash that like button. Thank you, Schultz. Maximilian is here. It's Ramirez. Hey, Odin, I missed your weekly video schedule. It was so good. Yeah, that was really cool. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get back to a weekly schedule. When I start putting videos out again, and I'm going to, I want to do it soon because right now is the best time of year to do it. If you're not on YouTube, the last few months of the year, YouTube pays better than the other 8 months of the year just because of Christmas. So I kind of need to put a couple of videos out. It would be really smart of me. But I've got a day job that actually pays the bills. I'm not trying to make YouTube pay the bills anymore, so I'm not going to be able to do a weekly video schedule anymore. It's going to end up being when I get them done. The goal is going to be 1 a month with a higher goal of 2 a month. And trust me, that's still a lot of work. Doing all that, plus doing cons, plus having a daily job, plus, just trying to not work every single night, every single hour of the day. Yeah, it's it's a lot. And then Blitz Andy 7, hey Odin, I just wanted to say that your Gundam helmet video inspired me to make my own Gundam helmet. Oh, that's cool. Hey Dan, this guy built one too. It's surviving purely on duct tape and cardboard, but I'm really happy with it. There is nothing wrong with duct tape and cardboard. Nothing at all. Don't let anyone badmouth you for being creative enough to make something out of duct tape and cardboard and get it done. And there is duct tape and cardboard stuff that an artist with duct tape and cardboard can do stuff that is just fine. It's like screen fine, ready to go, right? There's a local Sacramento Ghostbuster. He's part of the Terror Dogs. He's made his pack, his Proton Pack, is cardboard and duct tape. And it does more than the other packs. It's got little compartments that open up and slide out. There's a spot to put a speaker, and the cyclotron cover comes off, and the inner workings is in there, and it spins, and you can hang his HasLab wand on it, and it's cardboard. So good for you. Don't knock it. Cardboard's great. Cardboard is a easily accessible creative medium, and so is duct tape, and that is awesome. It'd be a nice hit and run for the Christmas period, right? Can we get an Odin Christmas ornament for Christmas? We go up and see what is, still miss Joe a bit, Schultz. Yeah, I get it. Joe is a great guy. I kind of miss him too. But just doesn't talk to me. So, okay. Oh, Mark's Workshop. Hey, Odin, I aspire from you a lot. Thank you, Mark. Sounds fancy, Jerry. What's Jerry doing? Hey, Schultz, I upgraded my rowboat to a boat with a propeller engine. Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, realizing once again that I can, I'm Odin Makes. I can do whatever. I've got a sailboat, and one of the projects I started back in like 2015 was a swing rudder. So I've got a trailer. I have a sailboat you can put on a trailer, trailerable. It's a McGregor. It's a 1971 18 foot. I think technically it's called a 17 foot for whatever reason. McGregor Venture 17 sailboat, and it has a swing keel. So on a sailboat, you got the sails that stick up. Underneath the boat in the water, which you don't see, there's an additional piece that goes down. This is a counterbalance for the sails that are going up. And so a swing keel has got a axle at the top of it, so it can swing up and take up less space. Because it swings down and it's like 5 feet below the boat. So I literally have a hand crank with a cable to crank this thing up so it can fit on a trailer. And it's got like 300 pounds of weight on it. So it's got a ton of, well, it's got 300 pounds, not a ton. So it's got, you know, this 300 pounds of counterweight. The rudder that you stick on the back of it is a solid piece of 6 foot long wood that goes down. So I guess if it's coming up on the transom, 6 feet, so it's probably only 4 feet down for the swing keel, and you got about 4 feet of rudder that's coming down off the stern of the boat. It's solid wood. So when I first put the sailboat into the water off the trailer at the lake, where the boat ramp is, which is, you know, a slight incline into the water. Water's usually flat. Yeah, Bean, you want to get down? You okay? I can't just drop the keel because it'll hit the pavement. It hit the submerged boat ramp. Same thing with the rudder. I can't put the rudder on at all because it drags on the pavement. So when I first get in the water, I don't have the swing keel that helps, you know, stabilize the boat for the sail, and I don't have a rudder at all because it doesn't have the depth it needs. So what I was building was a rudder that right about at the top of the transom, the bottom half of it has an axle. So just like the keel swings up, the rudder will have a rope and a pulley that it can pull everything up. And it's got a little bit of weight on it. It's only got like 20 pounds or 15 pounds. It's got enough that the wood doesn't float, that it'll actually go down, right? Because it needs to be down. So if it didn't have a weight, it wouldn't swing down. It would just float at the top of the water. And I've got it all encased in fiberglass. It's kind of ugly right now. So I need to sand this down. I need to drill out the top. Sorry, Bean. I need to drill out the top that's behind Bean. This is where the axle piece will go. And I've also got it, you know, I put a little bit of a leading edge on it. So it's like an airplane wing. It's got a leading edge to cut through the water a little bit better, a little less friction resistance to help, you know, so it'll stay down. That way I can put the rudder on. There'll be enough of a rudder, even with it, so it's down thing here, even with it all the way in the up position, there'll be enough of a rudder that I can steer the boat away from the loading dock a bit easier, or the boat launch easier. And when I get out deep enough, I can lower both the swing keel and the swing rudder and be able to go play in the lake. Sad thing is, kind of, started doing YouTube where I'm doing videos on the weekends. And then I started doing YouTube where I didn't have a day job anymore, but I was making a video every single week. So I haven't been on my boat pretty much since 2017. I think for about the length of Odin Makes, I've maybe been out on the water once or twice with the sailboat because I never have the time to do it. And so going back to the idea of, hey, I'll do a video when I can, maybe on a weekend I can go out and play with my dang boat, which is a lot of fun. But that's cool, Jerry, that you've got a propeller put into your rowboat, because yeah, rowboats are a lot of work. They're still fun. But I really like sailing. And what was funny is back in 2022 at Silicon, when I got to hang out with a bunch of other YouTube creators, talking to Bill Duran and his brother, found out they're sailboat nuts, and they both really enjoy playing with what's called a laser class sailboat, which is a very small sailboat. So the boat I have actually has a spot where you can sit in it, right? Two people can comfortably sit in it. A third person could actually go down inside of the enclosed cabin that it's got, which is a crawl space. It's not much bigger than the back of a truck with a camper shell. So don't think it's grandiose. But and there's like a V berth in the front, meaning the whole bow of the boat is this big triangular mattress where you can kind of lay out sleeping bags. So, you know, there's space for multiple people. With a laser, it can hold one person. In fact, I'm heavier than the weight rating of a laser. Even though I go and play on it, I just almost submerged the poor thing. It's still fun. They're a great boats to play with. So it was a lot of fun getting to talk to Bill and his brother about sailboats. And that was a really good icebreaker for us. I've always kind of talked to Bill, but it was always kind of a polite talk. That was the first thing we talked about where it became like camaraderie, which was really kind of cool. So if you ever get a chance to talk to Bill, and you know anything about sailing or had a chance to do anything in sailing, just start talking to him about sailboats. And he will go from prop building Bill to teenage Bill on a sailboat in a heartbeat. It's great. Highly recommend it. Scrolling. Oh, okay. Ryan E. Says, hey Odin, I'm in Sacramento also with a CO2 laser. Do you have a good spot for materials in the area or order online? Ryan, I'm lazy. Good spot for materials. My favorite spot for plastic materials that you're going to find in the Sacramento area is Interstate Advanced Materials. They just changed their names. They used to be Interstate Plastics. Interstate Advanced Materials is off of Highway 160 next to the old KZAP building, which you probably don't remember. So they're down kind of by the, sort of down by the State Fairgrounds, sort of down by the Cal Expo Costco. So if you were to get off the freeway, kind of go behind the Cal Expo Costco, they're in the industrial area back there. They are primarily a online ordering supplier, and Sacramento is one of their big warehouses for this coast. But they have a will call area. They have an area where the public can walk into into a room that's half the size of my shop. And there's a lot of weird little pieces that are left over from their online orders that they now can't really easily sell. They're just weird, odd shaped cuts of stuff. And they have styrene and they have acrylic and they have polycarbonate and ABS, although polycarbonate and ABS you don't want a laser, or PVC. But they have all those materials too. And they also have, starts with a D and I can't remember it. It is it's a heavier type of plastic that you can use with a mill, and it's a good machining type of plastic. They have that, and they have HDPE, and they have a styrene, and all these other things. They're easily, because it's scrap material from a job they've already sold, they've got really good prices. You're buying remnants from them. So if you want plastics, best recommendation that I know is Interstate Advanced Materials. Second best is TAP. TAP Plastics is on Auburn Boulevard here in Sacramento. They are set up to be a public-facing retail store where you can walk in and order cut plastics. They have a remnants bin, but at this point, they always cut them to be the same, they're like 9 or 10 inches square or something like that. They make them a uniform size. So they put those out into the bin. Each little piece is like $1. And if you order, cut sheets from them and then grab stuff out of the bin, depending on how the clerk feels that day, you may or may not pay for the remnants. It's just feel-good stuff that the clerks get to do. So there's no guarantee on don't have expectations. But they also have a lot of other plastic stuff. So if you want quick little pieces from a place that's convenient and easy and public-facing, TAP Plastics has styrene. They have acrylic. They've also got the ABS and the PVC. The PVC is also Sintra, the foamed PVC board. Still, you don't really want to laser that because polycarbonate and PVC outgas really nasty chemicals that mess with the optics of the laser in addition to your lungs. So you don't want to cut those materials on a laser. So those are the places I go to get plastics. For wood, I pretty much just go to Home Depot. I go to Home Depot and buy the door skin material, which is, what's in that box? It's 3 millimeter Ecuador, I think, is where it's coming from. But it's 3 millimeter plywood. It's like 2.8 millimeter. the CO2 laser has no problem cutting this at all. It just cuts right through it. The thing is, you're buying a 4x8 sheet, but you're buying a 4x8 sheet for like $15. So you need a table saw or a hand saw to cut it down to fit into your CO2 laser. But this is the main thing I cut with. I've also used hardboard, but the hardboard and the 1/4 inch plywood that's a lighter color, or 6mm plywood that's a lighter color, the glues that are in those produce a lot of smoke, and you'll need to clean your optics more. And when I was doing CO2 lasering in my apartment, yeah, I'd have to open up all the windows, because even with an exhaust fan built in, because I ended up buying a 6-inch exhaust fan to pull the smoke out of the laser machine and then shoot it out the sliding glass door, enough of it leaked, it would still just fog up the apartment. So, yeah, CO2 laser. So those are the main places. Other than that, I've picked up wood from hobby stores. You can get, plywood. You can get 3mm plywood from any craft store, any hobby store. Almost. I don't think Michael's has it. But you pick that stuff up pretty easily. Balsa wood, craft store. But my main things, and then of course foam. Hey Odin, where do you get your EVA foam? You work with foam a lot, right, Odin? Oh yeah, that's right. I work with foam. Oh yeah. HD foam is still probably the best EVA foam to work with. And that is available in a brick and mortar store in Sacramento off of Howe Avenue called Blick Art Materials. And those are sold in rolls, and it is 2mm, 4mm, 6mm, and 10mm. That's how thick the foam is, which I've got a piece buried back here. And it's a light gray in color, so it's very easy to crap slide. So it's very easy to mark with a pencil in order to work on whatever. Sorry, Bean. Yeah, it's a lot of noise, huh? Work on whatever your project's going to be. But it is a lighter color foam, which the CO2 can still cut. But the lasers cut darker colors better than lighter colors. Just resistance, I guess, to the light, build up, creating heat, physics. So the black foam, unfortunately, saying this, I'm very sorry, everyone. The black foam that Hobby Lobby sells is a very dense foam, and it's a black foam, and that lasers really, really well. So their EVA foam works really well for the laser. It etches well, it cuts well. What's weird is I'll go into one Hobby Lobby, and they'll have craft foam for $8 for a roll, right? For the 6mm stuff. I go into another Hobby Lobby in a different area because I bought everything the first store had, and they have 6mm with a slightly different SKU number, and it's $12 a roll. Or $14 a roll, right? It's almost twice. Exact same material. Everything about it is identical on the label and everything else except the SKU number and the pre-printed retail price. So if the 6mm foam is less than $10, that's the right store to buy it in. If it's more than $10, I hope you need it because you're paying more than you should. How's that? Yeah, Bean, I'm sorry. The box of screws fell and made a lot of noise. You all right? Click, 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 click. Bean, thanks for hanging out with me. Thank you for the recommendations. I Googled Interstate Advanced Materials, and we'll check them out this week and check out that wood at Home Depot. Excellent. Interstate is pretty much Monday through Friday. They're a business, so hopefully you have the ability to go there during bank hours. I don't even know if they're open, if the will call's open on Saturday. I know they're not open Sunday, and neither is TAP. Ben Studios, I like this channel. Thank you, Ben. I'm not even doing anything today. I'm hanging out with my dog and talking about random crap. Strictly Games is here. Hey, guys. Ooh, I like the new shop. Thank you, Strict. Me too. This is why I haven't been on for a month, and also partly why I haven't been on for a couple of years with produce videos. Been working on moving into a new shop and working on getting my private life cleaned up so I can move into a new shop. I'm in a new shop. So now I need to get it built up and actually start doing videos because this is where I wanted to be. Schultz Vision says, hey, Strict. Odin has no idea the robo comment is about visiting America. No, he didn't. I am not keeping up with all the comments. So everyone, I appreciate drinking carbonation. Perp. I appreciate all the comments that you are sending in. I highly appreciate that you're not afraid to talk to each other, and I encourage that. And I will try to communicate with the comments as much as I can. So one of the things I am excited, Strict, especially talking to you, Strict. Hey, Strict Games. Where I'm at now, I'm close to Dan Does Junk and Adaptable Gamers and Zombie Prevention League. It's possible for us to get together and live stream a board game. And that is something I really want to check into because I think that could be fun. just to do. It doesn't have to be like, this is the new channel, this is what we're doing. No, this is what we did for fun because we want to have fun. And Ralph says, oi, Strictly Games, your gaming stuff is great. Yeah, it is. It was one of the videos I shot with that I haven't put out was with Strict. We did, what was it, about a little less than 2 hours. Shop Gremlin and I built a labyrinth in Minecraft and put a couple of traps in it. Strict and I ran through it. So trying to go through, a maze or a labyrinth, first person, where all the wall blocks are the same, all the floor is pretty much the same. That was fun. It was also fun because Shop Gremlin was in creative mode, and they would fly around over us and, on occasion get bored and chuck stuff at us just to mess with us, which was great fun. I actually died twice in the maze, so need to put that video out. Strict put one out. I think he cut it down and got the choice bits out of it, which is cool. So what I need to do is something similar, but I'm tempted to just put the entire thing out. Schultz Division, why do I live on the other side of that damn globe? Board game sounds awesome. It does. Same here, Schultz Division from Ralph. Oh, I could make promises that would be a really bad idea. I've thought about how do I do a live stream with somebody who's not here with a board game? This seems possible. Just a typical guy dropped in and said, hi. Sons of Mothman says, sup. Let me see your... Sons of Mothman has the Death Head Moth as their icon. Okay, that's cool. Sup, Sons of Mothman. Scrolling up a little bit. Eastern Nifty 7. Yeah, Bill and Rob used to make boats with their dad. I haven't watched enough of their channel. I didn't hear all that. That's really cool. Going back to making boats with Bill and Rob. I forgot Rob's name. Meatball Ab. Lucky you, Nimblues. Ryan, yeah, tap is great for the acrylic. I need to check out Home Depot for the wood. Honestly, if you can, Ryan, and we already talked about this, Interstate Advanced Materials, you're going to be able to get materials so much cheaper than tap. So much cheaper than tap. Unless you're actually buying it new. If you're buying it new, they're kind of neck and neck. But if you can walk in and find what you want in their will call remnant section, you can get stuff real cheap. Hey Odin, where's the new place you're heading to? Zelda Hero, I'm heading to here. I'm still basically in the Sacramento area. It's just my new shop. I need to build it up, and I'm looking forward to actually be able to make videos again. I'm looking forward to being able to stream again. Hopefully in 2 weeks. Okay, so in 2 weeks I'll be streaming again. Hopefully in 2 weeks I'll be streaming with Felicia again. I know she hasn't been here in a little while, but I'll actually have stuff set up and be able to, stream. It'll be nice not having lights, just sitting on light stands in the corner. Maybe having a couple of other things built up. It comes down to funds as far as getting stuff built, right? So it's going to be It's not going to be overnight because I'm going to need to buy some lumber and buy some materials in order to build up the set. But yeah, I want it to happen. Odin Christmas ornament. Gundam helmet. Being super cool Chihuahua. Trying to scan through the comments really quick. So, Jerry can cosplay. I hope there's still a place for me to sleep when I visit. Yes, Jerry, there is. There's a couch, and once we get it cleaned out of all the crap that got moved in because of moving, there's going to be a guest bedroom. So yes, Jerry, absolutely. Jerry's asking me what sort of stuff did I dump? Oh, that's a great question. So Jerry's asking a question from something from a while ago when I talked about filling up the dumpster with, I filled up a dumpster 3.5 times, right? And it's not a little dumpster. It wasn't one of the giant construction dumpsters. It was just your normal double flip top. This is fine, dumpster fire dumpsters. But still managed to fill it up. Thankfully, it got picked up every Tuesday because I filled it up every weekend. What did I dump? I dumped my mass collection of styrofoam. I've been hoarding styrofoam. Oh, this is a good piece of styrofoam. This is dense. And then it turned out I never used it, right? I did a couple things for the high school and like Stonehenge and maybe a couple other things. So it's like, all right, I don't want to move styrofoam because I'm not using it. I've got a really cool old filing cabinet that was built for index cards that had inner drawers. So it has a big drawer you'd pull out, and they're about so wide, maybe 20 inches, 22 inches wide, and about that deep. So big drawers, but they're shallow because they only held index cards, right? So they're maybe 3 inches deep. So they're maybe 100 millimeters or so deep. Inside of each of those drawers were two big metal trays that you could lift out. This is all steel because inside of that tray, you could then set it down. You had all of your reference cards for whatever it was they were doing before computers. And even inside of that tray, it had a spring-loaded click mechanism with a little wall that could keep them compacted towards the front so they wouldn't just spill out, right? So that thing was full of old machine parts. I always really liked it. They came with the shop when I moved in. And I never had the heart to throw away those inner trays until 2 weeks ago when it was like, I'm never going to use these the way it is. I have to let go of the history of this thing because nobody cares, basically. And so I pulled all those trays out. I went through all the stuff that was in the trays. Everything got packed into like a couple of banker's boxes. So this rack that literally stands, I'm looking at it, stands about this tall, it's about this wide, it's about that deep. It's got 12 drawers that are all heavy duty steel drawers because it would be filled full of card stock. So I took out all 24 of the insert trays and went through all the pieces and saved what I wanted to save and threw all the rest of it away. It was even difficult enough, sorry, there's no towel or there's no blanket out here for you, Bean. It was difficult enough even to take it to a place to get it recycled because of timing, right? There is a place in Sacramento I could take the steel to recycle it, but my schedule didn't let me do it. Struggled with that too. In the end, it went in the dumpster. Still have the shells because that's where I want to put all my nuts and bolts and screws. I can laser make egg crate inserts and have a divided thing for small parts, which is all I ever wanted to do with it, but I've got better space with it. So I threw that away. I threw away lots of old stuff that I just saved for years. Threw away broken video component parts. I threw away, man, a lot of stuff I don't even remember. That's why it was worth throwing away because I'm not remembering it now. Cut off pieces of wood, right? Oh, this is a good scrap. I don't know how many trash cans of dust and stuff that just collected in the corners. Just all sorts of fiddly little things. There was boxes of old papers, stuff that's just collected for years. So I didn't really throw away anything really fantastic. Like the best thing I threw away possibly was a belt sander that mostly worked. Mostly. So it went in the dumpster. Anyway, yeah. That type of stuff. Just stuff I needed to clear out. Stuff that I needed to be rid of. I want a doggo so bad. Yeah, Schultz. Oh, Jerry Can's wee doggo is 13 as well. Steve D, tell us about your new day job. Okay, you ready for this? First, I'll be distracted with Bernard Lemaitre. I said that wrong. Because greetings from France, which means I cannot pronounce your name correctly. I'm very sorry, dude. I wanted to thank you for all those years of hard work. I motivated myself. I made a safe foam replica of Lucille from scratch for my Halloween Negan cosplay. Very cool. I wanted to make Lucille a couple of times. In fact, I've got a foam bat around here I bought, and I was going to do that for DIY Prop Shop. And then I think Vinny or Hendo, someone else built it and went, oh, I was talking about doing that, guys. It's okay. So tell us about your new day job. My new day job. I'm still a television specialist with the state of California. This is what I was doing with the Department of Water Resources when I was doing all the fun video stuff with dams and drones and helicopters and outside. But that was a temporary position, and that position was going to end regardless of how I felt on the 10th of this month. So last Thursday, no matter what, was going to be my last day. There was no way I could prevent that. There was no way I could extend that. There was no way I could protest that because I was hired as a temporary employee with a 24-month span, and that was it. My boss, Albert, was doing stuff to try and get me to transition to a different temporary position, but since January, I've been trying to find a permanent position, knowing that the state takes a very long time. Government takes a very long time to move and do and decide anything. And it takes, a fast hiring from the government is 3 months. Typically it's 4 to 5. It took me 4 months to get hired. I ended up getting hired with the Department of Industrial Relations. This is a group that works directly with OSHA, specifically California OSHA or Cal OSHA. So, and OSHA, for those of you who aren't in America, is the Occupational Safety and Hazard or something like that association. So it's job safety. These are the guys that determine you need to wear high-vis vests, hard hats, respirators, steel-toed shoes, all the rules for what you need to wear for working, right? So literally, I've gone from a YouTube channel where I've always joked about with Felicia, safety third, to no, it's 100% safety first. Like, production will shut down. Video will not get released if safety things were not observed on camera where the audience is going to see it, right? Because it took them a second to really get me to understand it. They can't do a video about occupational safety violations and about how they're bad and you can't do it when the video itself is doing an obvious violation in the video just to make a point. So that real violation in a video undermines the integrity of Cal OSHA's mission to try and tell people to not do it. Hopefully I explained that right. It took me a little bit to get my head around it for why they were being such, I thought, stick in the mud for it. But okay, I can agree with it. I understand it now. I can agree with it. It was finally at some point worded in such a way that I got it as well as I could explain it to you. Lawnmowers! I do get to have that now that I'm in a house. But no more trains, but got lawnmowers. So yeah, basically I'm doing videos and working with OSHA, with the Department of Industrial Relations, who works with OSHA for doing these types of videos. And I'm the first video guy ever that this department's had, as far as an actual position for making video. They created a position and I'm the first one hired into that position, which is really kind of cool and kind of interesting because they have no point of reference for how stuff has been done in the past, for how video in general works. You know, there's a certain amount of, I have almost never been on a video production as a crew member that ran less than 10 hours. It's just, it's what you do. If you want to show up on time, to have your cameras set up on time, to roll, to have your actors there for 8 hours or less, and then work with the actors and the crew and everybody else and have your lunch break. And this is all real. I'm not exaggerating for OSHA's sake, right? And then you usually run into overtime anyway, but even if you don't and your crew is done and they're out at 8, you still have to clean up the area you're shooting and break down all the equipment you have and get out of the area. That is a minimum of 10 hours. Usually it's 12. And everyone was like, no, we got to do 8. We can't do more than 8. It's not safe to be more than 8. It's like, you're not going to get anything shot. It's going to take 2 days. Everything's going to take longer and it's going to cost more and you don't have money now. So, you know, it's kind of fun. You know, and trying to explain that I'm used to 10-hour days. I'm used to 12-hour days. I was doing 12 to 14-hour days when I was working for DirecTV 6 days a week. Am I tired of it? Yeah. But I'm used to it. It's not outside of my abilities. I was a lot younger then, but still, I saw it move. So yeah, in fact, this week I'm going down to, tomorrow, I'm flying down to LA to work with another video group they've got contracted. Which is cool because this video group's got more gear than I do. I'm still waiting on having anything show up. I personally have more video gear from a YouTube channel than the state does for the department that I'm working in. So I'm going to go down and work with this contract group to shoot a video on tree worker safety. So it's going to be all about safety with chainsaws, safety of working in trees, safety of working as the people on the ground underneath the guy who is up in the tree. So it's about how to work in a tree. And then in the end, it's also how to work with a wood chipper. And it's real basic stuff. I mean, that's super basic. And some of it makes sense. That it isn't obvious to me, but some of it is. Like, you make sure all the ropes are clear of the branches before you feed them into the wood chipper. That seems like a really good idea. But obviously rules like this come up because something's happened in the past. So we need to make a point to show this and talk about it in the video. So that's literally what I'm doing. Okay, for all of you stalkers in LA, I'm going to be at the LA Arboretum all day on Tuesday, October 15th, shooting this video. So, and I'm not the one shooting. It's great. I'll be down there to take pictures and to like kind of direct, kind of manage as much as I can direct, because the guy I'm working with is very much, oh, I'm going to do it this way because this is the way it's done. It's like, that's the way you do it, which isn't wrong, but that's different from the way it's done globally, because that's not the way it's done globally. If that makes any sense. Yeah, the way my brain works. Literal is wrong. But anyway, yeah, lots of fun. Will I ever get to do forklift Klaus level safety videos? No, I seriously doubt it. Which that video is awesome. It is gory as it can be. Forklift Klaus was a forklift driver's safety video that was produced out of Germany in the 90s, I think. And it is gory. Klaus is not paying attention to the forklift and spears somebody to the wall and cuts somebody's hands off. And you see that person later with like, hooks and stumps later in the video trying to operate, a tape gun, and, knocks things down. Klaus is just a destructive force in this video, doing everything wrong. And yeah, that'll never happen. I'll never get to shoot a video like that. But why would I? Because I would always be compared to Forklift Klaus, and probably not favorably. Hey, Odin, long time no see. Love your dog. Thank you, Ricky White. This is Bean, if I haven't said that already. Oh, Strictly actually lost half the video. That's okay. That's about the Minecraft thing. Whatever. I've got mine. I'll get it cut and do as much as I can with what I've got. And what's awesome is Minecraft, so I I've already talked to Shop Gremlin about recreating some of the things that Shop Gremlin did so I could get something to cut to, right? Because we use a screen recorder to record our entire experience running around inside the labyrinth. So my entire video is just what I saw. In order to make a slightly better, compelling video, going to go back and do some screen grab of, or screen recording, not grab, not a single frame, of Shop Gremlin torturing us. Yeah. Metal casting videos are a lot of fun. They are strictly going to Ralph. Ralph does a lot of metal casting. So Ralph Morick, everyone, go click on his name here in chat. Go to his YouTube channel. He does a lot of reclamation of precious metals out of old electronics, and does a lot of metal casting. And in fact, he, all the way from the Netherlands, he 3D printed and metal cast V-hooks for Felicia and I's Proton Pack. So he's made aluminum V-hooks just for us for these custom made for these Proton Packs, which is really cool. Looking forward to getting back onto that project. Yeah. Ralph Moore. This probably goes back to me talking about safety stuff. Ralph's comment I'm laughing at says, reminds me of a few people who do metal casting on YouTube like I do. But they wear shorts and flip-flops while moving around a huge crucible full of molten copper using crappy channel locks. Of course, I'm just talking in the live stream, right? So whatever. I'm wearing shorts too. And I am actually wearing jean shorts, you know, like Felicia's joked about how I always do. Shady's here. Hey, Shady. New space. Does that mean videos are returning? Yes, KL Productions. New space means videos are returning. It's going to take a little bit, but because I got to build out the space. But yes, I have a new space that I'm excited to work in, and that's what I was missing out on for the longest time. So new videos are coming. Once I start, I want to try to commit to a minimum monthly upload, but it's going to be one of those, you know, hey, I got one done, you know, upload. But I'm going to stick to Wednesdays. So even if I get one done, I will wait for Wednesday for it to go up. So I'm still going to just post on the same consistent day. It just may not be on, yeah, there was a click over there. I don't know what that was. It's probably the heater or the... I'm in the garage, so, you know, some of the workings of the house is behind the camera. That's what Bean got excited about. It clicked. Noise, says KL Productions. Yes, excited about having more videos done. Excited about having a space I don't regret going to just by showing up. I like this angle. It's good for special guests. Garage door rules. This one? Hey, how's it going? Hello, I'm Odin, and welcome to my channel. Yeah, it is good for special guests. This is pretty close to the angle I used to have at the old setup, because I've got this. It's actually the same camera because I named this. This one's called Loki. Why is it called Loki? Because I needed a 4-letter name for the Wi-Fi because it made more sense than Zcam 2. Or ZD, whatever it was. But it's pretty much the same position. But I used to point the lens down at the table instead of at my face. But today, I wasn't really planning on doing anything. So, point it at my face. Why not? Smoky Mountain Garage. Hello, Mr. Odin. Your content from years ago inspired me as a kid to start making things with my hands. I now flip cars and build engines. Oh, wow. Thank you for your inspiration. One of my favorite channels. Wow. The only thing I've ever done on a car on my channel was take the windshield wipers off my truck to make a portal gun. And I think that's it, right? Nope. Captain America's shield. I also baked the yoga ball in my truck. Right? So that's awesome that you got inspired and did something on your own. You did what you're interested in, and that's cool. Flipping cars is great. That's great. That is not a skill I have, and that's awesome. Who, the new shop, will you be investing in a new cutting mat? Laugh out loud. Maybe. This one's been working. What's funny is I actually did buy a new cutting mat a couple years ago, but I just take it to cons. it's part of cosplay repair. The new mat just goes to that. No, I wouldn't mind getting a new green cutting mat. This one was actually from Excel. Wow, this is the old Excel mat. EXCEL. It's a razor knife company in the northeast of America. They sent me this, as well as a bunch of razor knives and hobby knives and stuff to use. So maybe I'm still using this one because they sent it to me as kind of a thank you. You know, Ryobi just sent me more of the wall stuff. So the Ryobi's got their link system for storing stuff on your shop walls, which is, I had to mention, you know, thank you. This is fantastic timing. I've got a new garage I got to kit out. So having the link system to be able to hang stuff up is great. And I'm going to, over there along the single car garage side, I'm in the 3-car garage for those of you who have joined since the last time I said it. So the wall over there, I'm going to put the link system stuff so I can hang up the ladders and the leaf blower and a bunch of other things you would usually hang up in a garage. Because I want all that hung up on the wall over there. Because I want that to be an open workspace. I don't necessarily want to clutter that up with workbenches. But as I say that, I do have, no, it's not here. Out of the 3D print room, I've got a 10-foot long piece of countertop that kind of needs a home. That actually might end up going over there. And so I may end up with a workbench over there anyway, which is fine. Hey, Odin, where's Felicia? Star Wars fan. Star Wars fan Felicia. Last week I was telling her I wanted to do a live stream, but I wasn't able to get the set put together to be able to turn the cameras on. And I was going to try again this week. Last night I was up till 3 in the morning still trying to troubleshoot why it wasn't talking to the internet, and cleaning out just this bit of a corner to be able to set this much up to do this. So I didn't invite her. I didn't invite her because I didn't want to have her get up, get ready, only to go, I can't get it to work, don't bother. Right? So I figured I'd just do it with me and Bean. And in 2 weeks, Felicia should be here. And hopefully I'll have a little slightly better setup. So Felicia's got the week off, that's all. Travis Alexander. Hey Odin, excited to hear about the new space. Just wanted to drop in and say that, and see if you ever got to see the Kong axe I emailed about. I was really inspired by your videos, Travis. Yes, I do believe I remember seeing the email with the Kong axe, and that was very cool. Thank you. Stephen Hall says you can always use it for a containment unit to go with the Proton Packs. Yes, I could. the link wall rack. HasLab is making a containment unit, right? Did I see that? Is that coming up? Are they making a wall mount containment unit? Light screen, the trap is clean, right? Isn't that what it is? Are you 3D printing in the garage, or are you using a room in the house now? Steve D, I'm not going to lie, I read that first as, am I 3D printing the garage? No, I have a office space inside the house that the 3D printers are going to be set up in. So that's all going to be in a climate-controlled area. All the 3D printing is going to happen in the house. Resin printing, FDM printing, all that will be in the house. All the laser cutting will be out here because of the smoke. So, and I'm okay with that. I think that's a really good trade and plan between the two of them. So, carbonated drinks. 3D printing is going to be in the house. Want to do more 3D printing. And going back to, someone asked, any Halloween plans this year? Steve Builds, are you going to go to the Bay Area Maker Faire next weekend? No, Steve Builds. It was outside of my budget this year. I've dropped a lot of money into moving, so I don't think I'm doing any cons or anything else for the rest of this year. I'll be doing SAC Anime first weekend in 2025, but I think my personal budget to be able to do for the rest of this year is gone. So no, I'm not going to Maker's Faire. Would love to go. Shock Ramen would love to go to a Maker's Faire. So Maybe we'll get to go next year. Is that on Mare Island? Is that where that's at? Which I've never been to Mare Island. I'd love to go there. So I've been to a couple makers fairs. It was been a long time ago. Really cool. Happy to go just to see it. So would love to. I picked a yoga ball in my truck. Well, I did. So Eastern Nifty 7 is, or Eastern 57? Eastern 57. Nifty 7. So Eastern 57 is joking about me talking about baking a yoga ball in my truck. Slightly more context. I took a round piece of floor mat foam, pallet wrapped that to an inflated yoga ball in order to smash it into the convex compound curve shape of Captain America's shield. But then you need to heat foam in order to help it stay, keep that shape. So I did all that and put it in the front seat of my truck for like 4 days. So it could just heat up. And it worked. It was a very easy way of doing it that never overstressed the yoga ball and was very low effort on my part. I just drove around with the yoga ball in my truck for a few days. Love to see a Knight Rider themed prop build, maybe something kit related, says Smoky Mountain Garage. That could be cool. Most specifically, and I don't have a use for it right now, years ago I heard it called a Larson unit. So Gary Larson was the producer for Knight Rider. He was also the producer for Battlestar Galactica, the 1970s version. So the Cylons had a single eye that swept back and forth across their visor. Kit had a single red eye that swept back and forth across the nose of his car. That was how the car saw the road, in theory, right? It was just there. It never really got explained. So this sweeping back and forth red LED got called a Larson unit by somebody somewhere back in the day, and I remember that. I would love to make a Larson unit, but I don't really have something to put it on. The last time I saw one was Ready Player One. In the movie, the Back to the Future DeLorean had the Larson unit, the Knight Rider red back and forth on the front of the car. And I'm really not sure if I've seen that much of anywhere else. I would love to make an old school Cylon because those guys were cool. Doing anything chrome is enough to stop me from making anything chrome. But the fact that they have the eye go back and forth, that'd be really cool to do. Rakes, leaf blowers, swords, maybe a spindle like the postcard holder, maybe a helmet display. Advexen's just going off. I'm not quite sure about what. It's all great. Yeah. Eastern Nifty 7 is also acceptable. I'll answer to that. Thank you, Eastern Nifty 7. Any plans for doing the rest of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers weapons? This is a question for G Bakes 93. Or Soul Calibur to go along with the Soul Edge. Okay, so first part. More Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Yes. Always did. Got somebody to make me an awesome theme song. Always wanted to make more Power Rangers weapons. Felicia has been collecting pieces to make the Pink Ranger. Want to make more weapons. Don't think I'll make them assemble together. Want to make more weapons. Want to do more of that. But that happened, about a year before I really just fell apart on YouTube and the videos stopped. So they haven't come out. So yes, we will. Because I want to. It'd be great. Yeah. Yes. Still have the red sword. It's around here somewhere. Not in here. I think it's in the house where it's climate controlled. Steve Bill says, yesterday is the Rockland Maker Fair. It was small, but a little bigger than last year, so I have hopes they'll continue to grow. I've been to the Rockland Maker Fair. In fact, I've got little buttons, the little 1-inch buttons. They're still on my sun visor in my truck from the first 2 Rockland Maker Fairs. I went out there with Zot. Yeah, no, that was cool. It's up at Sierra College. At least it was when I went. And that's cool. Could have gone yesterday, maybe. Still running around dealing with the last dregs, the last ghosts of moving yesterday. So glad that's all over with. There it is. Nimblues was asking if I have any plans to do Halloween or do a Halloween live this year. Not the question I thought it was. Thought about that. I'll have to talk to Felicia. We might do a live Halloween thing this year. I don't know. It's on a Thursday, which isn't hard. That isn't a reason to not. So, but we might. I don't know. I'll have to ask Felicia. Just came home from having lunch in my town. Right on, Dan. That's awesome. I'm looking forward to lunch. That's going to happen in about 20 minutes. Yep, still there. Oh, okay. So the Rockland Maker Fair is still at Sierra College. If there aren't a ton of events next year, I may try to set up a Voron booth. Oh, that'd be cool. Finally clicking in, Steve Builds, Voron. Right, Steve, I know you from Department of Water Resources, right? That'd be cool. I still have yet to actually get to, aside from the Voron machines that you showed me, I have yet to really get a chance to play and touch any of those. And I know Shot Gremlin would love to check one out. So that'd be cool. Ralph Morick says, I have a project in waiting for a metal cast aluminum belt buckle morpher with a Nordic gold power coin. Too many projects. Steve Bills, I figured I'd click at some point. Yeah. I'm around anytime. Feel free to arrange a time to drop by. Thanks, Steve. Yeah. Sorry, Steve. Yeah. I'm really bad with the names, guys. I'm sorry. I'm really bad with clicking with people. But yeah, no, that'd be cool. I saw the Halloween thing, and I thought someone else would ask me if I had any Halloween plans this year. Whatever. I may have just quickly scanned it and saw, I have a knife I'd like you to cast for me, Ralph. Says Shop Gremlin. Oh, you got the big 600 millimeter printing? Oh, okay, Steve, you know what we really like to build? 600 millimeter. So, for those of you out in the ether space, like Shop Gremlin who's paying attention, is a 600 millimeter build volume big enough to do an astromech head? Because I think it is. I think that's big enough. Fresh J, what's up, Odin? It's JT, the Zach Fair cosplayer. Hope to see you bring out the fusion sword of the next SAC anime. I was talking about that. So I had to clear out the old shop I was in, so the fusion sword and the busted sword had to come down off the wall because they're about 12 feet up on the wall. So they're down. Yeah, I should bring different things I don't typically bring to the next SAC anime because they're down and accessible. And those items are way more anime oriented than some of the other things I bring. So I think it's going to show up. Shop Gremlin says, yeah, like an R5D4 head, Steve. It is, says Steve Builds. Oh, God. Okay. Steve. Hey, Steve, this is Shop Gremlin. Shop Gremlin, this is Steve Builds. I talked about you guys a little bit before while I was still working at DWR. I think we need to bake cookies for each other. So, Nightmare Sword is badass. Okay, in the secondary question, someone was asking me about more Power Rangers weapons. And the second one was, am I ever going to make Soul Calibur to go along with my Soul Edge sword? There are different Soul Caliburs. So as I remember, everybody correct me if I'm wrong. Specifically Soul Calibur 3, I think, the one that goes along with the one that's closest to what I made, because mine's even still a mashup between a couple of Soul Edges. Soul Calibur 3 is one of those dual-bladed weapons. It has a huge cutout that runs down the center, and it's got two wispy, they're not, but in foam terms, they're wispy, tuning fork blades that go on either side that flare out at the bottom. It is a very awesomely designed, great-looking fantasy sword that works in video games fantastically. Having built tridents for Aquaman and Mera, they both had the same problem. It's a skinny foam piece, and even not EVA foam, even doing it out of Sintra and other plastics, these forks, when you set it down on the ground, they just wiggle. And so having a blade that's bifurcated, that's cut in half down the center, it's just gonna, even when you pick it up, it's just gonna do like this goofy tuning fork thing. Same issue with the Fable sword. There's somebody who very consistently makes the sword from Fable. The sword from Fable has got that same kind of cutout with 2 dual blades on either side. That's on the same flat plane this way, right? So they're just going to do this just by picking it up and moving it around. And that's not a uniquely foam plastic problem. Go look at Man at Arms Reforged, the Baltimore Knife and Steel Company. They made a Soul Edge and they made a Soul Calibur out of steel on their channel, because that's what they do. Soul Edge was actually done as a... no, I'm confusing it with the Buster Sword. The Buster Sword was aluminum. Still, they made a Soul Edge. They made a Soul Edge as well. Anyway, those swords are so darn big, the main guy threw his back out trying to pick it up. So they built a Buster Sword out of aluminum and then milled a steel cutting edge into the front of it, so at least had a cutting edge. And they ended up having to set up a rig that would just drop it like a guillotine, because when he went to pick it up, he just threw his back out because video game physics. So when they made Soul Calibur out of steel, and it was the 2 blades that came out, most of the video, they're using that sword to smash the watermelons and the 2-liter bottles of soda, which is what they typically do at the end of the video, because it's a really good, big, splashy destruction thing that's you don't really have to clean up because it's soda and watermelon, so it's biodegradable and safe-ish for critters to eat. When you would pick up this steel sword, it would just the whole time, even though it was a steel sword. So it's not a uniquely foam problem. It's just a real world material that has, vibration reactions to movement in the air and science. So I have no interest in making Soul Calibur because it's just going to be a wiggly piece of shit. And I don't want to do it. How to get around that? There is a workaround. And the only workaround to get around it would end up with so many negative comments. Part of the YouTube guy goes, it's not a bad plan. You have lots of people telling you about how you did it wrong because you put this piece of plastic between the 2 wiggly bits in order to keep them from wiggling. The plastic shouldn't be there. So you would have that interaction, but at the same time, I just don't want to hear it. And it's a project that doesn't inspire me because that is such a big disappointment roadblock before I even start. How would I get around it? If I was to cut out the silhouette of the sword of Soul Calibur or the Fable sword from some thin, and it can be thin, polycarbonate plastic, and I can even scallop like a bat wing between the 2 points. So you'd still have 2 points. It wouldn't just be flat across the top. I could do a between the 2 of them. And then build up the foam sword on either side of those plastic pieces in order to have a sword that appears to be 2 different independent blades that are fused together so they wiggle in sync, because it's still going to wiggle. So at least they wiggle in sync. But I don't want to do it. Ralph, Fable. I actually cast some coins from Fable 3 this weekend. Video soon-ish. So everyone, check out Ralph Morrick's channel for an upcoming Fable 3 coin casting from actual metal. One of the things I did save from the shop, though, I have got a hoard of scrap aluminum. I've got balled up aluminum foil. I've got scraps of cut off aluminum pieces. I've got scraps of aluminum tube outside. I have a 12-foot long section of aluminum threshold for carpets, that like aluminum strip you put down over the edge of the carpet when it's going into a hardwood floor. I've got that over the... Why? Because I want to melt it. Because I want to cast aluminum too, and that is a goal. That may not happen. Actually, it probably will happen in this house. Yeah, it probably will. But want to do it because it's fun. The only thing I've cast so far was the lead weight that I put into the swing rudder, and lead you can melt with propane. So that was really cool, and that was fun. And I think I did it in shorts. I think I had shoes on though. Klingon pizza cutter? That'd be cool. So that's the bat lift. Yeah, that'd be cool to do. That wouldn't be a problem to do out of foam, and that'd be nice to do out of aluminum. And Baltimore Knife and Steel has made batliths out of steel. A reverse batlith. Yeah, pretty much. Yep, there it is. YouTube.com/at Ralph Morick. So there's the link in the comments for Ralph's channel, and you can always just, well, at least I can, hopefully you can, click on his name and go to his channel. Does that work for everyone else, or is that only me because this is my thing? Can you guys just click on someone else's name and be able to go to their channel? So metal casting is in the future of Odin Makes. Yes! Not gonna lie, Shop Gremlin is the one who's really spearheading that project. They have a huge interest in doing some metal casting, and the fact that the machines that they're looking at is capable of doing aluminum as well. You know, we're not forging steel. Yeah, what are some aluminum projects? You know, again, I want to do stuff that is, you know, lightweight, prop, whatever else, low temp. What are some aluminum projects that I want to do, that I've wanted to do for decades and haven't been able to? The knife the Klingon bastard used to kill Kirk's son. I can't remember what that particular knife is called, but it's the knife that Kruge pulled out and killed David in Star Trek 3. And it's a bladed knife that's got a spade kind of a tip on it, and it's spring-loaded, which means it's illegal in California. It has a button on the side, so it's got two little guards that pop out on the side, right? So it comes out of its sheath as a knife. You press this button, and these little things go boink, and that's the knife that he stabbed David in the back with, because he's a Klingon with honor, so he's going to kill an unarmed scientist by stabbing him in the back because he's honorable. Star Trek 3. By the way, that was Christopher Lloyd as Kruge. So the guy who built the DeLorean in Back to the Future killed Kirk's son. Yeah. Anyway, actors, they get work. That's one thing I've always thought would be fun to aluminum cast. It's not overly complicated, but enough, right, with the spring mechanism. The other one, Star Trek, is the original series Mirror Universe knife. In the Mirror Universe, where Spock has a goatee, every crew member has a little knife on their belt that's kind of open in design. It actually looks a lot like an old school cheese grater or old school vegetable peeler, not a cheese grater, a vegetable peeler. And they're just a solid piece of cast whatever. They're probably cast aluminum from Star Trek. Originally, because that would have been within the wheelhouse of the prop guy. And there's zero finishing work on them, right? You cast it, you sand it, you're done. And so that is something else that I've always had interest in doing. I've got an antagonizer because the whole mirror universe I've always really kind of enjoyed, because it's the villains, but it's our guys, but the villain versions of our guys. The mirror Federation against the Imperial Galactic Empire. That would be entertaining, because they've got similar ideas on how to deal with other people. Oh, it's called a Dictang. Yeah. Well, at least Ralph knows what it's called, or knows how to Google it. And I pronounced it so wrong. So we got a capital D apostrophe K. It's a dick. Something like that. It's a dick. No, it's dick. Something like that. Tog. Something, I don't know. Oh, Jeeper Pearson. Hello from Denmark. Hello, Jesper. Jeeper. Jesper. Hello, Jesper. By the way, everyone, I'm nearsighted. So, yeah, there. Now the computer's in focus. Now it's not. Sorry if I read anything wrong. What is this? Brody Richardson says, "Hey, Odin, I'd really like it if I made..." I thought it said Patricia at first, but it doesn't. It's it's like science with an A. Paciencia from Fallout New Vegas. I don't know that one at all. Love Fallout. Never played it. Love the look, love the design. I played Fallout, I think it was 4. It was 3 or 4. I'm pretty sure it was Fallout 3, I think. Anyway, I played the first, I played for 30 minutes or 45 minutes. I finished the tutorial. I got out of the vault area or whatever, got out into the real world and first interacted with the nanny bot in my old house, right? The very beginning of having to go out and try and find your family that didn't get into the vault with you when the bombs fell. Whichever one that is, 3 or 4. It's been a long time. I think it's 3. Loved it. Just never... When I was trying to play that, I wasn't in a position where I could really focus on games. And at this point, still can. I'm grateful that I've got people that really want to play games with me. But what it comes down to is I can zone out on a video game and really enjoy myself, or I can make videos. I mean, there really isn't a whole lot of time to do both. Not when I'm having to build all the videos and everything else, right? Gonna work on the shotgun from Sons of the Forest after the stream. Right on, Dan. It's patience in Spanish. Oh! No wonder I can't. So it's like, so it's patience, but wow, brain won't do it. Pashina. Patience in Spanish. So it's like little patience, huh? Is that because you got the CIA at the end of it, giving it. Right? Does that give it the female connotation and the smaller connotation? So that's having little patience. William Wells says Zelda Sword and Shield. Right on the heels of me talking about not playing video games, I've been playing the new Zelda game. Okay, I'm a couple hours into it, and I've been playing it for 4 or 5 days, so I haven't like really just sat down and zoned out on it. Yeah, it's cool. I really I'm enjoying it. I haven't played that many Zelda games. For whatever reason, the original NES Zelda games, and probably because of the carryover from those, like that didn't appeal to me. I don't know why. It just didn't. And so that non-appealance, whatever, carried through up until the Wii, when you started having more of a first-person shooter version of Link. And so Link's Crossbow Training was the first Zelda game I really finished. And then I played Breath of the Wild, which is Switch, right? Not Link, not Wii. And I have almost 100%ed Breath of the Wild. Like full on everything 100%, not just finish the storyline, finish the quests, but all the additional stuff, all the not the Deku nuts, that's something else entirely, but all the little things that you need to find, right? What I haven't done is the final trial. So there's the master trials you do where there's like the first one where you have to do 3 or 4 in a row without failure, and the second one where you have to do like 3 or 6 of them in a row without failure, and then there's the third one where you got to do like 12 of them in a row without failure. That type of gameplay does not appeal to me. I lose patience with that in a hot hurry. I finally finished this pain in the ass level, and I've still got 3 more, and if I mess it up, I have to go back and do that pain in the ass level again. Yeah, I can go watch Gray Still Plays do that stuff and enjoy watching him force his way through it. But me, I can go make a sandwich and sit outside and look at the sun and have more fun. So that type of gameplay doesn't appeal to me, so I haven't finished that part, and I don't expect to at this point. But as of right now, I'm in the beginnings of the Zelda Echoes of the Past, right? Where you're actually playing a Zelda for once. It's really cool. It's a puzzle game, right? It's a puzzle adventure game, which I think is what Link has always kind of been, what the Zelda games have always kind of been. But I kind of missed that somehow early on. So no, I've noticed with the new Echoes of the Past game, oh, that'd be fun to make. It's Fallout 4. Thank you, William Wells. Commonwealth, that's 4, I think, at Vault 111. Yep. Potato Fan 1 is asking if there's any sort of props I would prefer buying over building myself. I quickly read the question and realized I had read the question wrong. Yeah, so the props I prefer buying over just building for myself. Any prop that's cheap enough and appealing enough to me that it's better to just buy it and rework it than to make it from scratch. And it's 2 o'clock, so the stream's kind of over. Point with that, it's a little out of reach right now. Shopgrown and I just went out and bought some of the Spirit Halloween posable skeletons. So these are like, they stand 5 feet tall. They are a human skeleton, a human-ish inspired skeleton, right? They're not medically accurate at all. But they're able to stand up. Right, because there's hanging skeletons, and then there's these other skeletons that stand up. We're talking about making Draugr skeletons from Skyrim, just like Bill and Britt did. And instead of 3D printing or making a skeleton from scratch, just went ahead and bought a couple of skeletons. I'm going to run over here, guys. So, it's this guy. Rando Cryptid came out into the shop and gave me a hand. It's not Rando, everyone knows exactly who it is. But, so, yeah, would rather just buy this and work on this in order to make it look like... Somebody really wants to see Shop Gremlin. Would rather buy this and rework this than do something completely from scratch, because this is it has an upfront cost of buying the skeleton versus building it, but honestly it's pretty comparable over 3D printing one. So or buying a cheaper one that quite honestly won't stand up and isn't as good. So well, the box just opens right up. And I tore it a little bit. Oh, this is one of those. It's going to be all zip tied in. All right. There. This is the new skeleton yoga. Hey, how's it going? Hello, how's it going? Hey, hi. All right. So yeah, good enough, right? The hands are a little wispy for my tastes, but these are actually way better than some of the other hands. They don't have that webbing that some of the Halloween skeletons have to try and make the hands look better. It actually has metacarpals and all the finger bones. Oh, so that isn't a ball joint. That's just that. That's all it does. Well, we might have to, because I've been 3D printing 1/6 scale skeletons taken from a CT scan, so they're actually medically accurate. For Professor Mojave, go check what I talked about 2 hours ago. Realized could scale those up and maybe make this a ball joint instead, so the hand can twist. So these guys would be better off at holding a sword, because right now can't really hold a sword. Not only because the hand is that position, because it's easier to cast, it isn't rotated to hold a sword menacingly. But the idea is to go through with one of these skeletons and add, sorry, trying to get him in shot. Look at the camera. I'm gonna glue a bunch of batting and cotton balls and stuff all to the bones, and then you kind of comb it down and tear most of it off. So the process, I got this out of an old Dick Smith makeup book. The process is to put glue on, and then you glue a bunch of cotton balls or a bunch of batting or pillow stuffing to that glue, and then you tear the majority of it back off, and then come back with latex and paint down over it, and you get the sinewy rotting. It's very much the way the skeletons were done for Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's going to end up with a look very similar to that. But instead of latex, I'm going to use Creature Cast, because that's a neoprene rubber based stuff. Some awesome crap that Jerry Can Cosplay bought me. We're going to use that instead, because the neoprene will last longer. Latex is a organic compound. it'll break down, especially in sunlight, outside like a display. Whereas the neoprene will last a lot longer because it's a man-made rubber. It's not a naturally occurring rubber. But yeah, these guys have bolts on their feet that you can tighten up. So they're supposed to be able to stand and hold a position and squat in a box. And the other thing that got brought out was same idea. Draugr are, skeletons in general are usually archers, especially, Minecraft. So just picked up a $10 Spirit Halloween simple little bow. We'll just doctor this up. So one of the skeletons, because there's more than one skeleton. One of the skeletons can have a sword, one can have a bow, and I've still got quivers that I've made for Smosh, so we can actually give arrows to one of the skeletons. So are there props I would rather buy than just make from scratch? Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with starting with a base, or even if you get one that's just right. If you can get one of the Pip Boys that's just right, that's all the way around, that works, just buy it. Is it fun to make? Yeah. But never be afraid to buy accessories, to buy pieces for your cosplay. Because the whole point is to have fun. So I also don't have a problem with that. When I was younger and manufacturing was different and things were manufactured for cost reduction and size changes to fit the circuitry of the 70s and the early 80s, so nothing looked like it did on screen, that was not acceptable to me because it looked wrong, right? Don't have that issue much anymore. Stuff fits now. The manufacturing has gotten to be inexpensive enough because it's the cost of the tooling, right? When I'm complaining about when stuff was done simpler, it's because some guy actually had to go in on every single one of those molds and mill it out to spec and make the steel mold to cast the plastic. This is all done with CNC machinery now, and you're able to get more complicated molds. And like Lego has got some insanely complicated injection molding machines for the tooling for the mold to come apart in order to eject the parts, because they've got machines making the parts instead of machinists. And that's not a dig against machinists. It's just the level of complexity versus cost of manufacturing. It balances out. You're able to get a better product at the end. And those machinists that used to slave over making these tools can do more finer, other artistic things, other things that are better suited for a human to do. So it's not like they're out of work. They're now taking care of the machines that make the machines to do the stuff. They just kind of moved up a level, right? So it's not like those guys don't have work, because that's not the way that works. You still need people to make stuff. All right, I'm well over. I'm going to be hoarse for the day. I should get one of those skeletons for my Gundam cosplay. Oh, that'd be funny. Yeah, you should, Dan. And I think it's about Dan's size, too, I think. The head's small, but I think it's about, right? No, Dan's taller than these skeletons. They're only 5 feet tall. Perfect for a Sinbad movie. Yeah. Got a new job, and we talked about Halloween at the job. So I might just bring out the chainsaw and do Ash, Evil Dead 2 Ash, because that's an easy cosplay, and I can just put the chainsaw down and I can work. As opposed to like Mechagodzilla, where once you put it on, you're just stomping around in a costume and having fun with other people. No work's getting done. So I'll probably go as Ash this year. Deadites, yeah, that'd be great. And Oculus says maybe 3D print the whole hand and replace it so the fingers can bend too. Yep, that's exactly the plan. I took the CT scan of the actual human finger, modified it so the bones were touching because they're not supposed to, so it would print okay. And I've already done a couple of, then I also fought my way through Blender in order to put bones into the bones. So 3D animation bones into the 3D model of human bones. So I can grab a fingertip and make it curl back, right? So I can position the hand a little more and then export an STL in order to 3D print it. So I can do that with this guy. And what I really want to do is either 3D print with the hand joint rotated 90 degrees, or maybe just make it so the hand joint can rotate, which would be good. That would give you more posability with a giant action figure. Star Trek phaser and lightsaber merged together could be fun. I think, this is William Wells again. Isn't that what Ezra did in Rebels, basically? Oh, gotcha. Oh, okay. Bean had to potty. It's been a couple hours, don't blame him. Marvel Guy says, something I know about Halloween Spirit. Last time I went there, I'm not a fan of their products compared to the ones just like what Pro Cosplay website has for sale. Yes, there is a... Spirit Halloween is a public accessible, mass-produced Halloween superstore that is coast to coast, at least in America. And as a result, their stuff is mass-produced, easily accessible materials. You start getting into more elite things that have a higher dollar value that can't be sold in a brick or mortar store. You're going to get a better product, absolutely, but it's just not as easily accessible. Plus, we paid retail for these because of the time of year. At Spirit Halloween, they're open past Halloween. In fact, I think Halloween night, the sales start. And then November 1st, sales start. And stuff starts getting marked down. And there's a lot of Ghostbusters that go in and buy the Spirit Halloween Proton Pack when the sales start because the cost comes down. And there's nothing wrong with that. We made a full Fallout suit from Party City from the stuff they had, which their Pip-Boy was only half, right? It was the front half, vacuum formed with a piece of elastic. Joe painted it up. It looked great. There's nothing wrong with starting with that stuff. Yeah, the other stuff looks better, but this is acceptable because it's just going to be a bone under skeleton underneath the rotting of the Draugr on the outside. With hopefully next year we'll get more armor built up for them, kind of like what Punished Props did. Because why not have a skeleton display? Dan says, I got 3 inches on that skeleton. All right, Dan, taller than the skeleton. Yeah, we need to put LEDs in the eyes because they glow. Yep, agree with Shock Gremlin saying. And Shark counterattack would be perfect for that skeleton. Yeah, it'd be kind of cool to do any kind of, yeah. Trandoshan mask is still unbelievably good. Oh, nice. The Trandoshan mask at Spirit Halloween for the... Oh, okay, cool. Trandoshan is Bosk, for those of us that remember the old action figures. And Bosk is actually wearing a spacesuit from Doctor Who. But, yeah, I'm glad to hear that mask is unbelievably good. William Wells is still throwing out Star Wars stuff. The phaser rifle from Where No Man Has Gone Before. I would love to make a phaser rifle that has shower rings along the barrel. Not gonna lie, I'm not against doing it. Oddly enough, in the past, Star Trek props haven't done that well for my channel, so kind of shied away from them because every time I've done a Star Trek build, it kind of fell flat. Doesn't mean I won't do it because I'm going to start building things that are fun for me again. Like I want to redo a Guar prop that I did a long time ago. And there's other things. I can see redoing props that I've done in the past because I know of a better way to do it now than I did 7 years ago. I don't want to rebuild my entire catalog, but there's a couple. There's a couple in there that'd be kind of fun to do again. Is it the camera or is the skeleton moving? It could be me stomping, or are you just having fun? I am on a concrete slab, so it should be okay. Oh, no, the skeleton's moving. His leg's settling. We want to say thank you for joining us on our stream today, but it's time to go eat some lunch or Rodin's going to end up looking like me. I like the live stream from basically noon to about 2 o'clock on Sundays. every other Sunday. It is well past 2 o'clock. I always go over, even when I have a co-host of either a dog or a plastic bow-wielding skeleton who's still zip-tied to his box. I want to thank everyone for showing up today. I want to thank all of you for listening to me ramble on constantly for 2 hours and getting nothing done. But it's been fun. I stress about live streaming. I stress about getting things put together so I can live stream. Once I start doing it, I enjoy it. I stress about going to cons. I stress about having the stuff put together and having the funds to be able to pay for the gas to get to a convention. But once I'm there, I really enjoy it. And it's for the same reason. It's because I get to talk to you guys. I love doing the live streams because I get to talk to you guys. So thank you all very much for tuning in. Going to be back in 2 weeks, hopefully with Felicia. Hopefully there'll be some sort of change in the background. We'll be able to see the shop space grow over the live streams over the next couple of months as I get things put together. So definitely, this is, I'm not going to say this is the only stream for October, right? Because 2 weeks is still October. Yes, right? I'll have to look at the calendar. My brain isn't working. But I'll talk to Felicia. We may or may not do an actual Halloween stream as well. But the thing is, actual Halloween, I'm in a place where we might get trick-or-treaters. So do I want to do a stream and miss out on that, which I haven't had in years? Or do I want to play with trick-or-treaters, which could be a lot of fun? Yeah. But we'll probably do a Halloween stream anyway. The 2 weeks from today is still the Sunday before Halloween, so maybe that'll be a Halloween-themed stream from here. That could be fun, because that would also not have to have Proton Pack stuff happening, which is spread out. and yeah. Anyway, thank you all very much. Ends in a 2. Trick-or-treat live stream, that'd be fun. The new shop. Thank you, Ralph. Good luck with the new shop. Take care. Send a text. Assuming it's still your number, Steve. Yep. There it is, Steve. 100% my number. That's fantastic. Thank you. Yeah, I would love to get together with you, Steve, and 3D print some droid heads. Yeah. Green screen your background, William says. Talked about that. So Forrest, the guy that was helping me tear down the old shop and move here, you know, can you just put a green screen up behind you with a picture of your old shop and then you just tear it down? Yeah, actually I can. My little machine over here can do that. Didn't have the time to set that up for today. Don't know if I'm going to spend the time trying to get that set up for the next time when Felicia's here. Felicia looks better than you, by the way. Sorry. So everyone, thank you very much for coming in. Thank you for talking with me. Thank you for hanging out with my ramble. Thank you super much to Steve D, who is still here, I think. And Ralph, well, Ralph came in a little bit later, I think, but Steve was like one of the first ones here, and for 3 hours has been listening to me ramble on like a madman. So see you all in 2 weeks. I'm going to go get something to eat and stop for a minute. And then I got to pack because I'm flying to LA tomorrow. Talk to you all in 2 weeks. Thank you very much for coming in. Thank you very much for hanging out. Where the hell's my stop button? There it is. There it is. Hey, I think I found it. End stream. Are you sure you want to end the stream? You click the thing, you won't be streaming anymore live. That's okay. Thank you all very much. 2 weeks, I'm going to be back with another live stream.